Hello everyone, welcome back to another Digital TCG podcast. This one's going to be a little different than normal. For starters, we don't have Trevor joining us here today. We recently went to Dusseldorf, did the Nationals there, and normally when it comes to this podcast at this time, we'd normally be going through our round by rounds and things like that. However, there's more we need to address with this one. Just to get the word out there, a lot of other content creators have put out their opinions and stuff and things like that, and it may be seen as an echo chamber at this point, but we just kind of feel the more voices out there, the better chance for Bandai to hear stuff, to realise that, hey, it wasn't the best foot, and it really needs to improve going forward. So today we have Shiro, Adam, and Amy joining us today. We're going to be going through the day-by-days, talking about everything that we see was the good, the bad, and the ugly, essentially. We're going through Friday of the last chance qualifiers, the early check-ins for the qualifiers, the Saturday of the tournament, and the Sunday of essentially side events and streams and stuff. We'll be going through all that bit by bit. We'll be starting off with the Friday. So we have a list going down. Adam's written it all. I'm going to be referring to him to give us essentially the bullet point to talk about.
So what's important to note out is the Friday was the day of the LCQ, the last chance qualifier. So Amy was doing that.
Yep.
I went down with her to sort of just wait with her before to get into the building, just so she wasn't on her own. And well, when we got down there, it was immediately queues around the building.
What time did you arrive at?
Like half.
We arrived at 8:15 in the morning.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So this was 45 minutes before the doors were meant to open.
Mm-hmm.
And like, don't get me wrong, I was expecting lines. We were expecting lines.
We were around the back of the building.
Yeah, but it was massive, and it was mostly due to the fact that there was no separation of people from each individual card game. There's 5 card games there. There was like 30,000 people there for the One Piece LCQ.
Mm-hmm.
1,000 or so for like the Gundam one, I heard. I think the Dragon Ball ones, there was 2 Dragon Ball games there, and they had like under 100 people each or something, or like they didn't have that many. And then Digimon had like 5 or something hundred or something like that. Or no like under than that. Like 380 I think it was they had.
Maybe?
Yeah, something like that. So there was roughly about 5,000 people there. Absolutely no organization, separation of the lines at all. And it made it super confusing of like, especially when you're near in the front of the line, like we didn't know where you were going.
Yeah, and the amount of people just cutting in front, like even security watching that they're at the doors.
Yeah.
There's people just cutting in front of them constantly, so it's just constantly just being pushed back more and more.
Stepping over the tape, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing to note here as well.
One Piece players.
One Piece players.
Yeah, something to note here as well. For a venue that can hold, I believe it was 7,000 was the venue's capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I remember reading. And we're talking maybe somewhere between 5,000 to 6,000 people coming in. And they only had 4 security doing bags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so insane.
Which, by the time they even got halfway through the queue, from what I was told, the security gave up.
Yeah.
No, it was the case.
Something I noticed as well, like, I expected to see more staff of the actual venue there. Like, we'll get into it probably going forward, but it seemed like everything was being handled by either tournament staff or tournament judges. There was no actual venue staff.
Mm-hmm.
There was maybe like 10 of them I saw all day. Like, and they were all in like, just like the front of the building where you come in. Like, none around the place, none anywhere. For like, general like, organization of getting people into the event. Which I think is on the venue, probably. More than anything else.
So what time did you actually get into the building at?
We didn't have to wait as long. I think we got around like 9. Actually.
We were still in the queue before I left you at like 9:20. I left you at about 9:20, and you were near the front.
What time did the queue feel like it was moving? Is a better question to ask.
It moved It moves
It's already
a little bit every sort of 10 minutes from about half 8 onwards.
There was a point where it like stopped for a good like 15 though.
Yeah.
Just because I've got it here, because they've still got it up on their website.
Yeah.
The venue was meant to open at 8:30.
Yeah. That is when it started moving, but it didn't move much. And it was like little jolts of people every 10 minutes. Like, we were halfway into the line. Like, when we got there, we were probably like, from 10 minutes later, the line doubled in size from when we were there.
We heard that there were people literally right around the opposite end of the building.
Like, wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was insane. We saw it, like, grow in real time. Like, we saw 3 busloads of TCG players just come in, like, by the busload and just all get off and all do the same reaction. They would get off all together, look at the line, look down, look back up, and then get their phone out like I did and record the line, the size of it.
Just something to their friends, mate, you want to get down here now.
that was it. It was really, really funny because it was 3 busloads of people all doing the same reaction.
I bet by that point, like by the time the third busload, I can imagine there's a few people just in the queue going like, we became a tourist attraction.
The thing is, like, this is a big event for like a nerdy thing. Like, I mean, I've been to a lot of like Comic Cons and stuff. For like, we've done QCon here, which is like our Comic Con around in our area.
It's smaller in comparison.
But there's still like, there's always a huge line to get into like an event, especially like an early morning one like that.
I've been to UK Internationals twice, and I don't ever remember being in queue.
YCS, when I went 2 years ago, YCS London, the first day there was huge queues because the bag checkers didn't know what they were doing, and then the next 2 days it was solved. But yeah, so what time is the tournament meant to start at?
It's got listed here. Tournament is meant to start at 10 a.m.
And what time did the tournament start at?
Roughly 12, I would say.
So there was a 2-hour delay.
Yeah, because we were talking about how there was going to be 8 rounds, 45 minutes.
Be about right. Yeah,
45 sounds right.
Yeah, and I remember the main discussion was that we were not getting a break. If we were playing all day, it was going to be one round after another, and it felt like that. As soon as the game ended, we were into the next one.
Yeah, which there would have been time for a break had they started on time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, they didn't.
Spoiler warning, this is a theme that's going to come up later.
Yes. So many event delays.
Spoiler warning, there's many themes throughout these days that will come up later.
So after this point, so I didn't mention this point, when the tournament does start, we will bring up about the fact of, from what it seemed like, what we were informed about what happened to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, so from what I was told from my friends who were friends of the judge and stuff, so it's just word of mouth. I heard that the Dragon Ball events were like paired together, or at least their times were together. Remember then, like, I know a lot of tables were messed up and a lot of them were like paired to wrong places.
Yeah, like the
and
two
there
Dragon
was so
Balls.
many continuous reshuffles, and I know people who were sent way across the hall when they weren't meant to and stuff. It was a mess. And then I remember the One Piece ones sitting there for like a good hour, not even started. I think it was One Piece.
Which will bring us to that eventually. So all the last chance qualifiers, from what I was informed out from the staff that I found out later days, all the last chance qualifiers was just going to be top 24 in every card game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many people showed, it didn't matter how many people, it was just top 24 made it to the actual nationals day one, because technically last chance is day 0. Because of the fact that it was like 3,000 plus One Piece players, it's just like, right, if we were to do as many rounds as you would actually need, it'd go past venue closing time.
To make it, by the way.
To make it so that doesn't happen, we're taking a round away from you, and to make up for this, so we were initially told we were initially told it was 100. We later found out they were actually told it wasn't even just 100. It was if you went X2. If you got two losses or less, you made it to day 1.
Oh.
So it wasn't even just.
So it could have been more than 100.
It could have been more 100 because we got told 100 on the Friday.
How does that?
And
make
later
sense?
on, I think it was on Sunday, we got informed it was actually if you just went X2.
How does that make sense? Because I get it from their perspective of, oh, we don't want you guys to feel like we're dicking you over by taking a round off you, making it harder to get into the day one, blah blah blah. But how does that actually make sense from their perspective? Going, well, it's already hard with the amount of players we have of trying to organize this. Tell you what, let's make it harder on ourselves for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
God knows.
No one was making right decisions.
I mean, Amy touched on it a wee bit, but wasn't the main problem with the LCQ was the Dragon Ball games
Yeah.
can't actually be played together?
Yeah.
So we mentioned
Yeah.
that. So essentially,
they're 3 different games.
so Dragon Ball, for those that don't know, just to kind of briefly touch this, Dragon Ball has been split into Dragon Ball Fusion and Dragon Ball Master, and their card games play similar but different enough from each other.
Yeah.
Um,
They are technically just absolute separate card games,
Yeah.
separate card pools as
and
well.
from this, like I say, what we were informed and stuff, that there were Dragon Ball Fusions sitting across from Dragon Ball Master, and there was like, we're not meant to be playing against each other.
Yeah.
That was what, again, this is all the information we were told. We can't solidify anything.
Well, obviously, the
I
judges
tell you what,
didn't know
it
anything.
would have been so much funnier if they did that for all the card games. Like, just imagine a Gundam player sitting across from a One Piece player, just going, "Well, this isn't right."
I mean, it's believable.
Yeah.
We messed up really bad at that point. But yes,
I think that mostly brings us to sort of when we arrived then.
so because we had got our qualification, according to the time schedule, anyone that had got their invite
could pre-reg
could
the day before
pre-check in
Friday.
at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So we decided, judging on the queue that happened in the morning for
Yeah,
use,
we rocked up at 2.
we were thinking about 2. We eventually landed at about 1:30 because of the fact that we missed the tram stop. We probably would have arrived maybe about 2:15 if we didn't miss that tram stop.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That did happen.
Unfortunately, things can't be helped. Sometimes things just happen. There's no reason for it.
I'm not dwelling on
Yeah.
that. I'm just generally saying, like, even if we arrived 15 minutes later than we expected, essentially. But even then, like, the queues were pretty big at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But
it
the-
was
the-
roughly the same size
But it was also
as
due.
when I got there with you.
Yeah, but it was also due to a confusion in the queues when we arrived, because we could just go into the building, and the queues were inside the building at this point. And the only thing that was purely established when we arrived was One Piece was on the left side of the hall, all of the card games were on the right side of the hall. However, they hadn't quite, for some reason, they decided to make the queues into 3 sections. And one section, the first section was like kind of snake, the second section was just a line, and the third section was a snake.
Yeah.
The first one was Gundam, the line was meant to be Digimon, and the third one was Dragon Ball.
The line was meant to. We
And
were
then
faked.
they realised upon afterwards, after realising how many Digimon players that were actually coming, they have to redesign everything. And I watched them have to get rid of this line and make 3 sets of snakes.
Yeah.
And then we were in one big queue. That was
Dragon Ball should have been the line.
Yeah, like we were in one big queue, almost ready to join the One Piece side. The queue was that long, but then when they established the 3 snakes and actually put the banners essentially saying this is the queue for this one, suddenly this big one long queue suddenly really split into 3,
Yeah.
and Gundam was tiny, Dragon Ball was tiny, and Digimon
Was massive.
we filled the entire snake pretty much straight away, and our line didn't start moving until about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
It was nearer 4.
Yeah, it was near 4.
We were waiting in that line for an hour past when we were meant to be in the hall.
Yeah, because I remember you guys messaging me saying you were here, and I'm like, where?
Yeah.
Where?
But by this point, the line had gone that long for us. So keep in mind, we had 3 small snakes. One Piece had one side of the hall that was one big snake
Yeah.
for them. One Piece
Our
was,
line was so long it was connected to
so
theirs.
was One Piece.
Whenever I was going in, they were letting One Piece ones in first. They were letting One Piece players go to the front because their event was like starting soon, and they knew about the whole time delays and stuff. They're like, "Yes, go on in, go on in." We're like, "Well, what about us?"
Yeah.
Standing out here in the cold,
So,
and they didn't even know like where to guide me when I did get in.
jeez.
They're like, "Somewhere over there."
But
Okay, ask another judge. Somewhere over there. Oh my god.
that becomes a thing a lot as well. But no, the queues eventually became that long before like they even started moving for both sides that the One Piece and the Digimon queues actually crossed.
Yeah.
They crossed each other at the whole thing.
Oh.
So
I think this is where we start getting into basically the only good part of the weekend, which is the community, because two people got so fed up with waiting that they just sat on the floor and started having a game. We just started playing Digimon.
I'm going to be honest, it made a lot of us forget
Yeah.
about the pain of our feet just watching this game.
We all sat down and watched it, and I remember it was Rocks versus Mastodon.
It was ironic, so I remember going to you and Trev going, look, it's used to. And the most ironic thing was, I remember making jokes at the Rock player, like, this game's making him second guess Rocks, because he couldn't find level 5. Level 5 just didn't exist in his deck.
And you know what? That became a theme as well, for me, personally.
But yeah,
you know, that was...
So,
the community was great over the weekend.
honestly, yeah. Ultimately, though, we did start moving.
Yeah.
Well, before... We'll touch on it when we touch on this bit of that part of the queue. But when we started moving, I was telling everyone, like, look, I've watched a few people do vlogs and stuff with Bandai Fest and seen previous photos and stuff. What we're meant to get are early pass and stuff. We're going to get essentially everything in like a little goodie bag and off we go.
We did not get that.
We noticed all they gave us was lanyards. I'll pull
Yeah, you have yours.
mine out. So, I'm sorry for any people that are watching on either Spotify or Apple, so for those that are sitting here watching this on YouTube, if you want to see this, so we got given these things. The other lanyard had Bandai Fest on them, and essentially said, like, everyone got one for their own card games.
Just basically let you into the hall and into
Yeah.
the building.
And there was a separate one for general entry that was like kind of white, and that's all we were given. And at the time, we were just so happy to be moving that we didn't really question it at the beginning. But later on, we'll question like, wait, where's like our stuff for like coming and like you're meant to get like digital gate opens and stuff for just attending and that. Like we're questioning like, where's all this? Me and Trevor were the first ones through. And we started following the crowd, and just by following the crowd, we just ended up at the shop. We weren't even sure where we were going.
Yeah.
And
Cheryl wasn't far behind you.
no, he wasn't. From there, it became another massive queue. And I'm just going to pull some information up here. So, Friday check-in. Here we got retail.
You're forgetting one important thing
What?
about registering your deck.
Oh, yeah.
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 We'll circle back to
We'll
that.
circle back to that. Just to bring this up for the shop, though. So this is what the website says, and this is all the information everyone's got. So it says, retail, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Shops are open for pre-check-in finalist players. There'll be a limited product availability. Players who have qualified in the last chance qualifier will also be able to access the shop after pre-registering. That's all it says. Giving the impression of the shop's open. That's it.
Anyway.
And
Yeah.
it was in the midst of the queue is when we find out, with no prior announcement, just apparently word of mouth somehow would have spread, you're only allowed to buy for your card game.
And only one of each item.
And only one of each item. And it's just like, okay,
That's not what we were given the impression of.
not the impression of whatsoever. I can understand it to a degree. It'd have been nice to buy from other card games and maybe been limited to one of each on the other card games, but have a reasonable restriction on our own card game. So like for example, in this Bandai Fest you could buy a set of trainings and you got one of each. So it'd be a nice idea of like, hey, you're a Digimon player, you're allowed to buy 4 of these, so you have a play set. If you want to buy something from Gundam though, you can only allow, no matter what it is, you only allow one of it, just a thing.
Yeah.
We found out after all the events that apparently every other Bandai Fest, including the next one coming out in January, there's a pre-order system for competitors to actually pre-order wherever they want from the shop. And like they can turn up on like the Friday, pre-order there, pick it up on the Saturday, like purchase it all then and stuff, so they can not have to worry. Apparently that system was just not in place for Dusseldorf.
Yeah.
So that is like one of the big things that I think ultimately annoyed a lot of us was the shop. And like it will become a big thing over the weekend. And it is a big subject of like upset as like thing that annoyed us. Yeah, we'll circle back to the...
Do you want to explain the deck list thing, Shiro?
Well, the fantastic member of staff told us that we could register any deck we want and then we could change it at any time. Which was not true whatsoever.
Yeah, so essentially we went to check in because for those that have maybe never seen it, sometimes on the Bandai app you'll get like a 2D check-in code. It's normally with like regional levels and higher. No event I've ever been to ever uses these, as it makes sense of the fact that they did. And when they went to scan the 2D code from the app, it essentially told them like, hey, you haven't got a deck registered. And that's like, say, the staff would understand and was like, anything, it's fine.
It is also the biggest thing.
Any random deck. I don't know why. To be fair, I don't know why people believe them.
You know what though? I think it's because of the amount of delays. Like that was also what was postponing Digimon. That people weren't submitting their decks. They made 3 announcements about it for people to submit their decks.
Yes.
I think they just wanted people to submit something to get them in the doors.
You also have like anxiety of like, well, I'm holding the queue up right now because I had to try and submit my deck list, so it's like I'll just submit anything.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand on the player side of it. I don't understand why people didn't have their deck list ready. Like, to me personally,
Yeah, 'cause we, like,
you
all
should
double
have
check
your
their
deck list
decks.
ready. Like, more than the day before. Like a couple of days before, you should
Yeah.
have your deck list pretty much supplanted to the point where you can submit it, like, and be happy with it, and not be just submitting something random.
Yeah,
But
it's the type
I
of thing-
understand why some people might not have.
Like, especially if everything was going as smoothly, like, as they probably hoped it would have, or as we, the players, would hope of. Like, you turn up, doors open at like 8:30 or whatever, and it's just like at that point you just want to kind of go through the door, and at that point you kind of think as a player, one of the ways I can do to help make this smoothly, the night before, double check your deck list and everything, submit it into the app. There we go.
Do you know
I can now
what?
just wake up, no
Yeah.
worries, everything goes
Maybe
smooth.
like a really silly thought, but I know there's some people who really like to be specific with their deck list with like alt arts and stuff. So maybe they went in wanting to get the trainings, like
That's
specifically.
or the DGOs as well.
Yeah.
That is also
Like there might have
potential.
people that just didn't have like digital gates or something.
Because I was
or
thinking of
whatever.
using the digital gates, obviously, in Shine if I was going to play Shine.
Yeah.
I was so there is that
There is.
maybe of that worry of like, oh, will I get these or not? I can
I
understand
know there's some
that.
people that are really, really specific with their deck lists. Like they
No.
don't want to be called out. Like, oh, well, you
Yeah.
don't actually have. This
I'm
one.
actually one of those people. Like when if it's for like a big level event and I've got to use the app, I use the
Same.
exact artworks I have.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just doing a deck list,
Trevor hates it though because I always get him to check it now, and he goes, "Adam, why have you used separate arts for these? It's not like it matters." I'm like, "I fucking could. It could."
see the thing is in my head, it doesn't matter. They're the same card. It doesn't matter. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like there's an other part of my head of like,
They could
what
point
if you
it
get
out.
that one guy that's got like a power high going on? Like, don't have this. You're running this one. It's just
Yeah.
like it's the same card. No. This is altar. It's just like I don't want to run into that one guy.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's my worry in my head with it.
Yeah.
So,
So there are
also,
some like reasons.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's also like if you see one art on in the deck and a different art on here, it could just be like a thing of like, well, that's not right. Oh wait, no, I have to look a bit closer. I just want to make it as easy as possible for being deck checked. It's like
Yeah.
that art, cool. Pictures.
um,
I think you touched on as well, like how long we've actually been queuing at this point.
yeah,
it was a while.
we've been queuing for a while, like I say. So,
Probably like 2.5 hours.
so like say,
we
well,
got,
meant
we got
to,
into the shop queue around the same time and we finished LCQ, right?
roughly, yeah. So
what time
essentially,
was that at?
about
4
quarter
o'clock.
past 4 or something.
So-
By the way, I dropped. That's why I was early.
Yeah, so essentially, for starters, we turned up at 2:30 for our check-in. That was meant to start at 3. We didn't start that queue didn't start moving till about 4. It was at about 4:15 from where we were about in the queue when we got through.
Yeah, because we were pretty far up on it. So.
Yeah, and I
We
don't.
were actually, in comparison to the overall queue, we were actually pretty far ahead.
And I don't think I
That's
saw
what I
you
mean,
guys
we were
get in
pretty much-
I
until
remember
like
you guys
half
just
five.
saying, "Oh yeah, we're near the front. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're near there. Oh, we're nearly there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from there, like I say, we were just following the crowd where they were going, thinking they were going towards the hall, and we just found the shop, but it was just like, okay, while we're here, we'll go into that. So we got into
That
that
was probably
queue
the best time
pretty.
you could go into
Yeah, it was pretty
honestly.
early because, like, again, they had another snake line system going on. And when me and Trevor got to it, it was about, I want to say, 1/3 of the queue was filled. So we were actually getting in there pretty decently.
Yeah, by the time we got there, it was
We were getting
horrendous.
shoved. We were getting.
yeah, it was a mosh
Push.
pit.
It was jam
They were trying to basically set up barriers at one point, and people were like shoving into us, trying to fit in, like saying, "Well, we've been waiting here, blah blah."
Yeah,
blah.
they
And they're
were-
like, "Just turn the corner, just go around the corner, because it's a safety hazard."
Yeah, and they just were refusing. The people behind us were just
Yeah.
refusing. And there was a guy behind me at one point as well being like, if you take your bag off, more of us can fit in. And I'm like, that's not fucking happening. No.
Yeah.
And he's like, but it's not fair. And I went, tough fucking titty.
I mean, in the days, like the whole point of the Friday was like, as competitors, we were meant to be able to like get access to the shop, so we don't have to worry for the Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a matter of like there should be enough there for everyone. No one should ultimately be worried about like, oh, what if it's like, no, there's meant to be enough there for us.
You have to have a scalper mentality to be worried about scalpers.
Yeah. So like I say,
Fans.
with that queue though, I think that was maybe.
I don't think I saw you guys again until like 5:30.
You didn't see us
Yeah.
till half 5, but and stuff. But I think that was maybe another 45 minutes roughly. In that
felt
queue,
forever.
it felt
It
like
felt longer than
it
that.
felt quite a while. That's because initially as well. So something you guys won't have seen. One thing I noticed with the shop when me and Trevor arrived, I think they had like 2-3 people doing the shop.
Yeah.
By the time me and Trevor reached it, they had like a full 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
So like not all members of staff that were there for the shop had arrived yet, essentially,
Yeah.
to do the shop. One thing I will say to, with the staff members there, clearly they were trained in sales and stuff, because when I arrived and said I just wanted some trainings, they're like, oh, you don't want a mat? You don't want some sleeves? Like, they were clearly trying to upsell me, so props to them to like, try and make the company
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah.
So
They're doing their jobs.
Yeah, so I'll give them props there.
The thing is, as
Is
well,
that
but
like Connor?
yeah, I'm gonna bring that up. Before we go on, I'm worried this will come off the wrong way. This is all things they could have improved on. They could have done better. They could have had this pre-order system in place.
Mhm.
There's other things throughout the weekend. This is just us going, these are things they could fucking have just done right, and they didn't, because they have in the past, and they just haven't this time.
I'm just kind of blanket this with everything we're going to talk about as well. Like, I don't think any of us personally blame the judges
No.
or
staff.
the staff. I ultimately, personally, myself, I put all the blame on the tournament organizer.
It's very clear the staff didn't know what was going on. They were being told
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. The
So-
tournament organizer is what we heard from the judges as well, of being
The problem.
the issue, not necessarily of, oh yeah, it's all their fault. It's more just like
Communication.
The tournament organizer hasn't told us anything. They
Yeah.
haven't communicated down to us
Communication
what we're doing.
Communication was a
How
very
this
big
is
problem.
working.
Sure.
As a way of cycling to something else that happened in the store,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this up thing. So, one of the things the store was meant to do, so on our competitor cards, we have 4 symbols: a triangle, circle, star, and square. We found out at the end of the weekend that each symbol was meant to represent something the player had done, so therefore it gets stamped so they can't do it again.
Yeah.
They weren't doing this on the Friday, so the star was meant to get stamped for competitors who went to the shop on the Friday.
Yeah.
I believe, Shiro, you've just got a stamp in the corner for that day.
Yeah.
You didn't even get a symbol.
No.
It's more like a hole punch.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Our
hole
one
punch.
got stamped for. Wasn't it the ticket thing? The stamps?
Yeah.
Oh
like
yeah, that's right. They
Yeah.
stamped the corner of my one. This
Yeah.
here thing, I was so mad.
Yeah, so they stamped the corner of his, like, nowhere near the symbols.
Yeah.
They didn't even stamp mine at all. So, like, mine didn't get, like, a little hole punch. So if I really wanted to, there was nothing stopping
Yeah.
me re-going in the queue if I felt like staying around for another
Yeah.
3 hours to then use the store again and just hope I didn't get the same guys.
If
that
you had
made
gotten to the front by the time they closed, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Then we got stamped. We got stamped correctly on the Saturday because they actually knew what they were doing at this point.
Yeah.
But
So
this is more to cycle to something else to happen. So
our friend Connor went with us. So he was on the podcast for the
He
last
would-
Glasgow.
he would have loved to have
podcast.
joined us for this one,
Yeah.
but sadly the apartment we were staying in, they weren't really great with noise, and on top of that, by the time we were getting back on the evenings, it was
so
past
tired.
the kind of noise time and
Yeah.
stuff, so we didn't want to like cause trouble for anyone. So as much as we would love to have him here, he sadly couldn't join us for this.
Yeah. So he was there with us, and he got into the shop just roughly after you guys. Like he was
Well,
a bit further back from you.
We'll give a bit of context.
Yeah.
Well, what happened in the queue with Connor? Because that kind of helps add to what happened in the queue
What, like the queue?
with the ticket.
Yeah. So we were there, and so there was a ticket you bought for the event, and there was the 2D scan code on the Bandai app. And before we got up to the person who was scanning us, we weren't sure which one of those QR codes you're gonna have to scan to get into the event. For us, it made sense that it would be the actual purchasing ticket that you paid €30 to get. So we were all like, all right, everyone get your ticket out. Let's be prepared for this. And Connor was looking and he's like, I can't find this. We're like, what? Like, I can't find this. I'm like, have you checked your emails? Yes. Have you checked your downloads? Yes. Have you checked your screenshots? Have you screenshotted it? Yes, it's not there. I can't find this. I'm like, did you definitely buy this? Did you? And he's like, I don't know.
They weren't accepting screenshots anyway. I just got very, very lucky that they took mine.
Yeah. But it was like, did you actually buy this? And he's like, I don't know. I don't know if I did. I can't remember. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Connor. So we're not even sure if he had a ticket for the event or not. But luckily enough, when we got to the front of the queue, it turned out to be the 2D scan code that I could just scan. What the ticket that you, like the €30 ticket for the actual event was needed for was getting prize support at the end of the days. So
He didn't get any.
yeah, when it came to that, he didn't bother trying to get any because he couldn't be arsed with the hassle of it. So after that, he went to the shop. I went to find Amy in the LTQ. Connor went into the join the shop line, and he was like a bit behind these guys, a bit ahead of us. We were then messaging him, being like, "Here, are you much further through than us?" And he was like, "Nearly." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Are you near the front?" He's like, "Near." And then he sent me a video, and it looked like he was nowhere near the front.
He was about 2-3 rows behind me and Trevor.
That's a lot of people.
I know it's a lot of people, but me and
And it
Trevor
looks
seen
even
him.
more on a video.
And I remember, like, there was at one point when me and Trevor got near the front of the shop queue, like, he was in a bit where we could see him and could maybe, like, all talking over some people, but there was a point where we could actually kind of... it was at this point when we found out about, like, the one on Ego
Yeah.
and I remember shouting through to the crowd to him, just so he was aware.
Yeah.
So that way he could maybe plan himself, because they had 2 displays in the queue, so you could see the shop before you got there.
Yeah.
So the idea was, by the time you actually reached the counter, like,
You knew
this
what
is
you
I
wanted.
want.
Yeah. But he was sending us this video, and it looked like it was nowhere near. So that's when me and Amy just hopped out. We were like, no, we cannot be
we're not
fucked.
doing this.
We're being shoved, we're being pushed. We're surrounded by One Piece players. Don't want anything to do with it. So that's fine. And then we went and found a table along the hallway, waited for everyone to come out to meet up again and decide what we're doing. So those 2 and Trevor come out, meet up. We're waiting for Connor. At this point, yourself and Trevor, you went and done something. You went and looked for the prize wall or something.
So
like
yeah,
that.
because I think we briefly talked about our messages and stuff, and we were talking about like, whereas
Yeah, I think you went to speak to James.
well, no, it
actually.
wasn't James specifically. We were just going to go and try and find someone. It was like, right, where's our digital gate opens? Where's all this? And we found the main hall. I mean, Trevor was at that point was like, okay, we're just going to go and try and find what's going on. I'll talk the full story about that, but that's like where we went up to, like, because that was a little bit of a thing as well.
Yeah. But then, so it's me, Shiro, and Amy waiting around this table, and Connor comes out, and he's already having not a great day because of this ticket. So he comes out with all this stuff he's bought, the Imperial Digimon playmat, his training,
Everything.
everything he could buy. He came out with it, and it wasn't that hard, but he slammed this stuff on the table and on the chair that was free for him. And like he was upset. He was in a real state of mind of he just comes out, he goes, "Fuck this game, fuck this fucking event. I'm booking a flight, I'm going home." And then
Stormed off.
he stormed off around the corner. And he's genuinely upset. I don't think I've ever seen him this upset. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So I get up, I go around this corner.
Yeah, me and Shiro were laughing.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, it's this absurdity of what this event did to us, our state of minds at this point. I go around the corner, I'm like, Connor, what's happened here? Are you okay? What's going on? Let's see if we can sort this out. And he goes, these things, right? They're meant to get punched. He went in there, gave it over to get punched, he never got it given back to him by the member of staff at the shop, the one that was dealing with him. He left the out of the shop area, realized he didn't have it on him anymore, tried to turn around, like he literally took one step out, tried to turn around and go back in, and the security guard wouldn't let him back in because he didn't have it. So it was this weird, absurd thing of like, can I go back in to get this? No, because you don't have this to go back in with. And he was telling me this, and I heard the explanation, I was like, nope, that's not on. I'll go sort this out. I'll go sort this out for you, because that's not fucking happening. Like, at this point, I was done. I had enough. So, I went. The queue had shortened to get into the actual main queue for the shop at this point, so I could actually walk through the doors. And I went, I've got my pass. I've not gone in at all. I'll go in and sort it out. And this is where, like, it really starts being like, I will never talk bad about the judges, because I went in and I didn't even join the line or nothing. I didn't bother with that. There was judges on the outside of the queues, like, sort of working with it a bit. I'm like, can you help me? I need to talk to the people at the shop. My friend's left his badge there. He never got it handed back to him. And he was like, yeah, we'll go get this sorted out. And it got sorted out, and it took all of 5 minutes. A bit of waiting to, like, sort it out, suss it out where it was down the line and stuff. And then I just came back, and I'm like, there you go. And yeah, it was happy enough. It definitely cheered him up a bit.
Extra explaining.
But, like, it's where it gets to of, like, it shouldn't have fucking happened of he wasn't allowed back in to get his own, like, badge for himself. Like, it should have been realized he's just fucking walked out of there.
It kind of makes no sense, right? Because, like, you can only get into this bit if you have a badge.
Yeah.
So why are you leaving without a badge?
Yeah. But the staff, when I actually went in to help, the judges and the staff of the shop, great help. Actually fixing the problem. And it was probably the only problem they fixed the entire weekend.
you had a couple of... We had a lot of the judges tried their hardest. So while you were dealing with that, like I said, me and Trevor went on our excursion trying to
Hold
find...
on, we forgot one key thing.
What?
The reason Connor was actually on here is because he tried to buy a Sequoia starter deck, but it was €119.
Yeah.
They had the Sequoia starter decks listed as 119.
I think it was just maybe a booster box. They just slapped the latest product picture on it. But no, so me and Trevor on excursion, we're gonna try and find out what these digital gate opens, where the hell they are. So we just went in and stuff, and I was like, right, maybe the prize wall, we can maybe try there. And on our way walking towards the prize wall, we see Tom and HQ, and we see Ginger James there, and it's just like, he's the head judge for Digimon. He'll probably know. Let's go and ask him. So we ask, and he goes, all I've been told is any form of prizing from anything, participation, anything form that women give out, you get it at the prize wall. Okay, no problem. And at which point we were like, you know what, James, we'll go to the prize wall and stuff, we'll find out, and if we get it there or whatever, we'll come back and let you know, so that way, if people come and ask, you can tell them with confidence. He's like, cheers, much appreciated, guys. So, off we go, and we see another big, long queue spanning the entirety of the back wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Trevor get in it, and we're hearing whispers and stuff about this queue's maybe One Piece, not anything else. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, you know what? On the chance that this is just One Piece, Trev, you stay there. I'm gonna go down. I went down and I found a much, much, much smaller queue that was for every other card game.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm on the phone to Trev, come down. We're down here. He comes down, we join the queue. And there's people in front of us, they're getting phone scan and stuff, getting prizing. And me and Trevor get up there and I ask, hey, there's maybe an extra thing given out today for the fact of we're checking in early today as competitors. We're meant to get these like promo cards and stuff. We were told to come here. And the response I got was, I've just been told to give out participation for last chance qualifiers and side events. After that, maybe? What do you mean, maybe? Are you or aren't you? I don't know. Okay, no problem. So, not wanting to hold this queue up and start a massive argument, because at the end of the day, there's people will give a price for and stuff, like, leave it, we'll try and ask someone else, figure our way back around. At this point, it's like, right, let's just go back to James. We can at least tell him what we've just been informed, just to let him know there was no luck. We've not just left him high and dry. So we go to James, like, hey James, just let you know, we've been there, this is what they've said, yada yada yada. And James, at that point, he's just like, let me go and poke the bear. But there was a small middle bit inside the HQ where like there was a few people, and I believe there's some of the staff of the tournament organizers were there or something. Like, essentially, someone higher up than James was like hanging out in that area. So he went and talked to them. While we were waiting is when you start getting in touch with us trying to find us. So at this point, you resolved everything with Connor. James came back, and I can't remember exactly word for word he said because I was on the phone to you, so Trevor was more the one listening at that point. But from what I generally gathered was, be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
They couldn't find it or something like that, or it was misplaced. So come back tomorrow. Something I do want to briefly touch on, is more some stuff that came out thanks to Vortex TCG's video. I'll touch on it slightly, but for the full details, go and watch his video because he did Gundam. About more miscommunications going around the place. They were told to pick up their passes and stuff from Last Chance Qualifier from like the Tournament HQ. Yeah. They were then told to go to the shop and stuff, and then like when he got to the shop, he was told by apparently some judges to get out the queue. Like he wasn't meant to be queuing, then had to be guided by another judge back to that queue to actually get his qualifier badge and stuff. So more miscommunication is going on left, right, and centre. Again, I do not blame any judges or staff and stuff. I put all this down to the tournament organizer. I will say those particular judges that were in that queue were maybe a bit of an asshole for like telling him he has to get out and stuff like things. But for that full story, go and check out Vortex TCG's video. He's got his own thing on it and stuff. What puts us to next on Friday?
Well, the last thing to talk about is we met someone amazing, the light of my life, honestly.
Again, going back to the community. So at this point,
when we went out for dinner, we met a Digimon player.
We met two Digimon players, but we were just talking Digimon when we went out. Because at this point, we met up with Sol and Thompson.
Yeah.
We decided we're going to go for food. We found a random place. All they did was loaded chips, and it was very nice.
Yeah.
And there was one Digimon player that was like just kind of quick hi and bye, talk to us and stuff. I think someone we maybe recognized some of us from maybe Glasgow or something. And then we had another person who just came and cracked away to us. Just cracking away, just like nothing. And at this point we didn't know who he was. He was telling us he just started playing.
We were like, did anyone get his name?
No, like literally at this point he told us like he'd been started playing Digimon last year. He made top 16 at that, so he was just like, oh, okay.
He recognized you as well.
Yeah, he recognized me. Apparently watched my videos. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm shocked by this. I don't feel like I'm that big, but
we thought he just spawned in. We thought we just manifested him into the universe.
Yeah, he like popped back to say bye, and then I like shouted, by the way, what's your name? He's like, you'll find out tomorrow.
And it was
so iconic.
Yeah, it was just like this guy's amazing, fucking like a breath of fresh air.
And we were like, I hope we see him again.
We were all actually generally questioning though, were we delusional? Did we just imagine this guy?
Yeah, was there something in our chips?
And then when we went on the Saturday, we did actually see him in line, and he told us his name was Sasha. So, you know, Sasha was a fucking holy light at the end of the tunnel through the whole trip. He was just bubbly, gleeful, just genuinely lifted our spirits.
I will say he got top 16. Like one thing I will say is like to Sasha and like the other bits of community and stuff that even like we didn't get to talk to a whole lot to, but like all the UK people and stuff in the Discord and that. Like I've been saying for ages, and I've been very public to this with all those people, and these guys know and stuff where like I've been very much on the edge of quitting Digimon competitively, and honestly, I've said this to Trev, I've said this to Adam and stuff, and it's just like it's the community that's actually keeping me in this now. It's more like I don't really care about the meta and stuff, like the meta can be sucky. I am actually looking forward to future regionals just to go and like talk to these people again and hang out with them and stuff. So it's the community keeping me in like the competitive scene kind of thing. So I will say like that probably wouldn't have been a thing if it wasn't people like Sasha. Just to put it out there. So community for Digimon's fucking fantastic, and can't wait to meet more of them. Honestly,
Yeah.
that is one of the
more events.
that is one of the few good things we can point in this video that they won't be followed by a but.
Yeah. I think that moves us on to the Saturday, and like.
Okay, pause. Let's have a 2-minute break.
You just sprinkle.
How long's that been so far?
I don't know honestly.
About 40 minutes.
Who said we could do this in under an hour?
To be fair, there are 4 of us. I think me and Lumi could have
think-
banged this out in
No, I
30
think-
minutes.
The Friday, I mean, it's gonna be the longest one.
Yeah.
For, like building setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
rest of it is just
Sunday's
like-
gonna be so charged. Sunday's
You're
gonna be
saying
charged.
you and Lumi could have done it. 90% of this has been you and Lumi. Me and Amy just
No.
interject her sometime, like, oh yeah, we'll do this.
No, Amy was talking a lot at the start.
Because I was talking about the Friday.
Yeah,
So I was there on the Friday. I don't know, Saturday's gonna be like a bit more because obviously the
I'm looking at it. The only new thing is the passports. The only new thing is the passports and the shop crashed multiple times. That's it.
And
The
the
rest
right of-
is just more queues, more disorganization, judges no communication.
On the light of your life, getting 3 passports.
The
So-
light of my life. I
Could you say it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Words.
I agree with myself.
So moving
Your
on
competition,
to
I know,
Saturday.
right?
We turn up, and just to bring this up, because again they didn't follow this, was it?
Bandai
Oh,
Q Fest.
in fact,
Drucker,
before we
yeah.
go to this, one last thing I want to touch with Friday with thing. This was also brought in Fortix's video. So I have here in front of me the whole how last chance qualifier ticket thing works, and they say essentially buy a last chance qualifier, and if you do not qualify, that last chance qualifier turns into general entry, and if you do qualify, it turns into a competitor. Nowhere on this website does it say about the fact of you've paid for last chance qualifier. If you qualify, you need to pay again. Vortex states in his video he had to pay again. Again, if that was always going to be the case,
It was not
it was
advertised that
It was
way.
never advertised. Be a bit more open about that, like because I've got it all in front of me. It does not say anywhere.
It has a cool little diagram.
It has a diagram and stuff, but it literally just says you only need 1 event pass. There will be no refunds except for players that have purchased a last chance qualifier and have earned an invite before going to last chance. The only time refunds will be a thing. There is nothing stating about they need to buy again. So again, if that's going to be a thing in the future, just be a bit more open about that. But yeah, so more queues for Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. It's just more of the same to start with. More queues.
For this
Hour
time,
late to start the tournament.
well, for starters, so on the Saturday, to point this out, the venue was meant to open up for competitors at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
It was then meant to open for the general public at 9 a.m.
Yeah. And this didn't happen because there was no separation again of any queues.
Church and state.
Of church and state. General entry and the all the competitors for the different card games were just mixed together.
I
Like
think they separated competitors and general entry and my timing.
a little bit when they got into the venue, but on the outside of the venue when you're queuing up along the building, none at all. Which made it so they didn't know who was general.
Competitors go to the left.
To be
So I remember
fair,
going way off.
So
from you
what
guys.
it was?
That's what I mean, like in the venue.
Once you
I'm
actually
talking on the outside.
Yeah,
I was
once you-
afterwards.
once you actually got in the venue, because they did try a few times before we were going in, but people just ignored it.
Oh yeah, that's where we had the best church.
Yeah. So once you got in the building, it was general entry one way, competitors that haven't checked in yet another way. If you were here yesterday, go down the middle.
Yeah.
That's essentially how they did
Yeah.
that. Again, though,
But it led them to not letting anyone in till 9 o'clock.
to be fair,
in
I
general.
thought
even though it's
probably,
past 9.
that was probably a safety thing. There's no way they could have let people in while telling the other half stay there.
I would agree with you.
There would have been a stop.
I would agree with you.
Yeah.
There was too many One Piece players.
In
The
hindsight,
One Piece
it
players
makes
were in everything.
in hindsight it makes so much more sense to do it that way. But it's not the way they advertise the event to be run, which is probably
It could be a situation of this is how they advertise it for every event, whereas the venue they picked just didn't have the facilities to do that.
Maybe it's just security.
I mean, the thing is, though, they had a side door for staff and everything, and I feel like at that point there was nothing.
Oh, for staff? No, there's a lot of people trying to get in through that.
I'm about to say, there was technically
I
nothing
remember
stopping them. If the fact that the competitors won't be getting in at a certain time, a competitor being able to go up and go, "There's my badge. I can walk in at 8."
Oh yeah, no, I remember because whenever they said like the whole competitors to the left, there was a bunch of people who actually went to that door, like they were coming up from the subway or something,
Yeah.
and started lining up at that staff door.
the thing is, I think a lot of these problems might not even be problems had they not been advertised to be done a certain way. Like if these things just weren't put up a few weeks in advance of this would be done this way, this would be done that way, this would be done this way, then it would still be annoying how the actual event played out, but there wouldn't be the same level of like disappointment because
Frustration
we wouldn't know better.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know better. We'd just
At
be going,
that point,
"Oh,
you'd just be
okay."
like, "Oh, it's a big event. What do you want them to do?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, now it's like, no, you are planning for this. Like,
Yeah, it's like there were plans.
Yeah.
There were blueprints. You
but
just haven't followed.
just so as Hope had as his look had it though for us though, with an event as big as this, there was just as good a chance we were never seeing Sasha again. But it just so happens in the queue, he's literally
Right
like,
there, bumping
20 feet away from us, and we lock eyes, and he starts coming over and talking to us again. It's just like,
I'm convinced he was stalking him. With how much we saw him over the weekend, I'm convinced.
He made friends with everyone.
he was
You
great.
know, that's one people that did cut though.
Yeah, like
He joined him as friends.
yeah, 100%. But like when we finally got through as well, like it was also just a case of we were getting bottlenecked through these like sort of turnstiles, so it was slowing down the queue even
Well,
more.
never mind the turnstile. So before this, so Trevor's convinced there was 3. I didn't remember seeing 2. So 4 security guards worked so well on the Friday. I only seen 2 on the Saturday. Trevor's sure he saw 3. I know one thing for a fact. So there was like 4 doors, and the far left-hand door had no one on it. So people were just coming in and bypassing the security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Trevor kind of got funneled into the
No, I
door,
remember.
to the inner left door.
This is for the bag check.
Yeah, for the bag
Yeah,
checks. So we got funneled in towards the inner left door. And by the point that me and Trevor came up for the bag check, they asked Trevor to open his bag. I was getting my bag ready. But because we're stopped because of bag checks, people are behind us pushing, like, what's the hold up? Get in. And he's having to shout back, stop pushing, stop pushing. He doesn't even look in Trevor's bag. At this point, you see him go, fuck it, just go. I give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't blame
blame
the dude. Like,
Yeah.
the people were just being impatient, and it's just like, that's a big security risk. And like, again, I don't put that on the staff. Honestly, I put that security risk down to the players not willing to be patient. And it's just like, you don't know what anyone's bringing in.
That was.
So it's just like,
We all blame the One Piece players. I'm gonna be honest. The One Piece players were getting on like the actual One Piece was in this event. Like, they were,
No, they all wanted
It
that
was-
promo card from the passport.
that was the
That's
One
what it
Piece.
was. There was £100 just sitting there waiting for them. That's the thing.
yeah. So, at this point we'll say about the passport. So obviously the system was meant to be 1 passport per player. Some people got multiple.
Because
was-
they
They
there was-
made it hard to
went
go
back
through the
and
system.
Yeah, there was no system. Like, I don't put this down to the players. 'Cause
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's. I've seen it in a lot of things. If you find a way to cheat a system, you're gonna cheat a system if you can
yeah,
profit out
we
of it.
probably would have done it if we
If we
realized.
knew it, yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
we would have done it. So I put this down more to, like, again, how things were organized. There was just nothing put in place to, like, make sure you've got 1 passport. That's it, job
Yeah.
done.
And they had maybe 5 people handing out these passports as well. Like, it was heavily bottlenecked, and it was slowing the whole thing down. They should have had, like, 15 people on that door.
Yeah,
Like,
there was people rushing to the shop on past them as well.
yeah,
Like, you couldn't
not
get
even
anywhere.
caring about their passport. Yeah.
I do think the shop got like back through the like actual main lobby area at one point.
Apart from
Whenever I was like waiting there,
Waiting.
because you guys got on in before me, and whenever I arrived to the main lobby, main hall, the queue for the shop was right at the door.
Yeah, I do think I saw that when I was trying to meet up with you. I
One
was
of-
like, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell when the shop ended and when the people coming in through the doors.
I'm gonna be
began.
honest, even before that, because obviously we got in early. There was at one point I remember following the people for the Digimon to get our packs.
Yeah.
And immediately after that was done, I was like, right, I'm gonna go check out the shop. I couldn't tell you when the shop queue began and when the because the One Piece queue merged with it.
Yeah.
It's like there was one point the One Piece queue was going past the shop, and I couldn't tell you were they there for One Piece or were they going into the shop.
The shop was the One Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
That's where all of them were coming from. They were immediately coming from the shop, getting everything they wanted, you know, scalping the fuck out of all the other card games, and then joining their own line.
No.
So
Yeah, that's something we'll touch on towards the end of it all. But
What about the cardboard signs?
Oh yeah,
yeah, cardboard signs, great signage. Props to the staff and judge for the having to do promptu.
yeah. So when we were coming in to guide us towards where we went to get our our participation packs that we should have got on the first day, we went there. We got them.
Well, no, we were meant to get these on the Saturday.
Yeah.
We got a bonus pack that we were meant to get on the Friday.
Yeah, we got it all together. But to lead us towards that area, they had a few judges stationed up, sort of in a trio almost, holding cardboard signs that said Digimon, and all like. And I'm on the phone explaining to Lumi, like, oh, you'll see a judge holding a cardboard, holding a sign for Digimon. And I like, Digimon, like, yeah, I'm like, you won't be able to miss him. He's holding a cardboard sign that says Digimon on it. And there was multiple of these.
What?
And
I'm
going,
going to be honest.
What a budget. Using our €30 for what it matters, right?
I'm going to be honest. I did almost miss it. I got super close to the guy before I noticed it because the problem is with being colorblind. It's brown with black ink. And it almost blended, so I couldn't see the word Digimon.
Oh.
But
They're not very inclusive, honestly.
No,
guys.
so we followed that queue. We get to the guy sitting down giving out these packs, and they inform us like, yeah, the bonus pack that you're meant to get is also in this. However, I then questioned. I questioned Sasha because Sasha was like, he didn't make it for early check-in. I asked, did they give you an early pack? Pack for us, like, yeah. Which then confirmed to us they were giving this bonus pack to everyone, so there was essentially no point apart from the shop to turn up on the Friday.
yeah,
So it's like it kind of annihilated that. Again, they stamped cards to make sure you couldn't just rejoin the queue for most things. They actually stamped everyone this time.
That's probably because James was doing it, because he's intelligent.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever the OPE judges were doing anything, like that,
We love our
OPE
OPE
does
judge.
all the regionals here in the UK, so they know what they're doing when they're running an event. And Adam was there, who's head of OPE. He was one of the main like announcers over the intercom and stuff and organizer and stuff. And we got talking to him on the way home from the event because we were going to the same airport. And he ended up just telling us, yeah, on the Saturday, I just took over. I just went, no, we're not having this again. And he just tried to fix as much as he could as he went along. He couldn't get everything fixed, but there was improvements throughout the weekend, little by little.
Yeah, you could tell I was getting progressed.
Yeah.
And that's when things started picking up, because
So-
OPE is much, much better than
UK
CS.
events.
At this point, you did a bunch of trading and things like that. I believe at this point, correct me if I'm wrong, we now kind of move into actually playing the event.
Yeah, the tournament it was meant to start at 10, it started around 11, so it was about an hour late,
Again,
which
meant
wasn't too bad.
Again, meant no lunch.
No lunch though.
Which could suck because we arrived with no breakfast, and that's just the right thing.
It sucked in principle, but what we will also say is the food vans that they had there were very quick at preparing food, very quick at making it. I had a
They
burger
probably
in my
had a
hand
lot
in 30
of-
seconds.
Oh,
Probably a
100%.
lot of people like
I
complaining saying,
legit-
"Hey, we need this right now."
I remember like the one time I actually finished around early, and like Thompson was behind me, and he was like, "Right, go this way, go that way, you'll find food truck. Go to the burger one, They're very quick at serving. I'm like, right, cool, I'll go. Went out, and there was one person in front of me. They all, and while they were talking to another member of staff, like getting their order done, the person on the grill goes, "What are you after?" Points at me and like, "Cheeseburger. Do you want everything on it?" "Yeah, sure." And sitting there, and I get to the member of staff, and they're like, "Cheeseburger, everything on it?" Like, it was like, "Yeah." Paid for that, and literally, as I was pulling my phone away, a burger was just getting handed to me. Like, the guy was already cooking it ahead before I even paid.
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, cool. Yep, I just get to eat this now. You sweet.
And it was filling. It was tasty. It was actually
we had pizzas
good.
on Sunday, and they were good pizzas.
It was actually good food provided for us. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
It was like the food was actually good of the trucks outside.
I will say, I personally feel like it was maybe a little bit pricey.
If you had to get a drink, you had to get it inside, which is like €5.
Yeah.
Well, even then, like, I would argue €10 is a bit much for a burger, but it was a good burger.
That's a good burger.
But they weren't doing drinks at the food trucks. Amy is correct. You had to get it from like the inside cafes, and they were like €6 for a bottle of Coke. Like, they were extortionate prices.
So we will bring up. So they had timers on for all tournaments. The timers were all eye level though. If you were standing up, so all it took was like one group of people finishing their rounds early, and for some reason they all crowded around Tournament HQ, which is where all the timers were. So if you were any far back and like, oh, how long have I got left in time? I don't know. There's a crowd of people.
I didn't even know there was a timer until the 5th round.
To be fair, the way area where the Digimon like thing is being held, that was the actual information like desk.
Yeah.
That they were sent to. So people were just going there with problems constantly.
Yeah,
like,
it
I
was
heard
the
them,
HQ
and there was people with like actual big issues going on with their like Bandai apps I was hearing about. Okay,
This was the height of the table. This was probably the monitors.
Yeah, and it was,
and I had all the monitors.
And this was
the timers on one screen. Not
this was the size of each timer. Like it was genuinely impossible to say.
There is one thing I'll get into. I'll touch for Trevor in a bit. One thing I want to touch on too. Again, this is a communication thing. The judges didn't, in my experience, couldn't tell you where anything was almost.
Yeah.
Because in my round 3 as well, this happened. Especially if they were a judge for another card game.
They only did their card game.
So, Digimon, for some reason, their tables were split into 2 sections. So just to kind of use Tournament HQ as the center bit. North of Tournament HQ is where majority of us were playing. And it's where all my tables were. And then round 3, I got a table that wasn't in this section that I've been playing. I couldn't find it. So I asked the judge that was lingering around the area, and he pointed me in a direction. And I went, and I couldn't find the tables. And I asked a member of staff, as I seen, it was another judge. And they were a judge for One Piece. And they couldn't tell me where my table was. They're like, I don't know.
They really should have laid out somewhere.
So at that point, I start making my way to Tournament HQ. At this point, I hear Adam make the announcement, Digimon players, your time on the round has started. Like, cool, amazing.
I'm not at my table.
I'm not at my table. I may take a game loss here. I get Tournament HQ. I ask, I'm like, look, I'm trying to find my table. And I see them pull up on their phone a map of the venue. And they've got all the sections divided, but with the numbers of the tables in the sections as well on the map.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it should be like over here. But no, it can't be, because that's this. Maybe it's there? No, it can't. And like, they're looking at their own map and being confused.
Yeah.
So they don't know. And it's just like, okay. Then they're like, ask the judges behind you. So I turn, and it's the judges I've already asked. Like, they don't know. And they're like, just ask again. Fine, okay, I'll ask again. Excuse me, I'm looking for this table. Do you know where it is? I don't know. Cool. Turn around. They don't know. The guy stands up, goes, like at this point, I'm at the south end of Tournament HQ at this point, and he literally goes around, finds a judge for Digimon, say, this player's looking for his table, can you help him? I show him my table number, and he goes, yeah. The tables were directly to the west of Tournament HQ. Mm-hmm. From when I was talking to these people, all I had to do was turn left, and I could see my table. Yeah. It's just like, I don't understand, like, you're this close, how is it this confusing? How does no one know this? On top of that, to the north of this section of tables and to the south of these sections of table where Digimon was One Piece.
Yeah, that whole
they're all
top
sandwiched in
section
between.
is One Piece.
So like we were just
It's One
randomly
Piece.
sandwiched in there.
Yeah.
Eventually, I get to my table, and like I can see that I can see where my seat is because obviously I'm not sat down at this point. My opponent's got his hand in the air, waiting to call a judge and stuff. So I'm not there. I look at the time, and it's not even been 5 minutes yet. And the judge comes over and he goes, "Here's your opponent's stuff." And like I'm apologizing. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna match the play. I see him look towards the judge, about to ask a question. And the judge immediately knows what he's about to ask and just goes, if he's not set up by 40 minutes, he will get a game loss. Never mind the fact I've now found my table, there's been struggles and everything because their own system's confusing. They couldn't tell me where to go. I've asked help multiple times.
You almost got punished for it.
I was getting punished for their disorganization. And it was just like, at that point, I'm like, okay, cool, if that's how we're going to be. I literally pulled my mat out, just threw it on the table, didn't even properly organize it. I just took my deck out, put it on top of my mat, and just flipping took my bag and threw it under the table immediately. It was like no preparing whatsoever. Everything was roughed up, and I was like, look, I'm prepared now. It's just like, if you're going to be like this for me, I'm like, no.
I'll play like this.
I'll play like this.
Maybe just scared the fuck out of him when he did that. Like, oh, fuck, I poked the
You're a
bear.
bigger guy than me. Like,
Poke the bear.
You don't piss me off with this table's getting flipped.
I think what should have been done though is that judges for the card games should have had some way to differentiate them.
There
from
should have
other
just been a
games.
big board with a layout saying tables,
Yeah, that
number to
would also be
number,
good.
and this section is One Piece, this section is Digimon, and then down here is like, I think it
Yeah,
was
the-
Dragon Ball from you guys.
Yeah, like there's a lot of systems they could have put in place to make it a lot
Yeah,
easier.
like just print this on the back with Digimon judges' shirts. This year.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that's all you need.
Oh yeah, differentiate the judges.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
have the actual like.
That is another good point though. It was impossible to tell if a judge was what card game a judge was for.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was also the thing. But I will say immediately as well. After I set up and stuff and looked at my opponent, because the judge was kind of standing there just watching us. My opponent, then at that point, because I was set up, then looks at the judge and goes, "Can we get a time extension then?" And the judge is like, "No." I was like, "Really? Really, guy?"
You fucking should have. I would have actually just been like, can we fucking appeal that?
I'm like, "Please."
Get me James over here.
Yeah. But no. So
Give me your manager.
So that was the big thing to bring up about that round.
She just started, Adam.
But yeah, so that's the thing to bring up for there. What's next on our thing?
It brings us to the passports. So what they were doing over the weekend, or well, on the Saturday, we thought it was over the whole
Oh
weekend.
yeah, passports. I was like, we've covered passport. No, I know what you're on about. Yes,
So-
yes.
These passports that they gave us with our promo cards inside, like our DQs and stuff, they doubled as like a wee
Again, for
scavenger.
anyone watching on
Saturday,
YouTube, these little things. And inside they've got like pictures for all the different card games.
Yeah.
And essentially, it was like go and find them.
It was meant to be like this sort of scavenger hunt thing for you go to like what ended up being like staff members around the hall, and they would have a little stamp and they'd stamp your passport, and that's like really cool, nifty idea. Like it was really it should have been
It
fun.
was meant to be fun.
We had to figure this out ourselves. But
Yeah.
there was no fucking information.
There was
about
no
it.
information on it. We were
It
just
wasn't
told.
even announced or anything.
Yeah, it was just like,
We just
oh,
saw,
you go
like, a
places,
sign up.
you
Yeah,
go
we were all
places, you get a
sitting down,
stamp,
like,
you get a
me and
card
Amy,
at the
like,
end.
seeing some movement over. It's like, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah.
That we haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, what, we're going over.
You just took off.
I
Yeah.
would like to point out it was actually announced on the Friday via Twitter and stuff. They just didn't look.
No, but like there was no information given on what it meant at all. It was
They gave no
just
times for it.
Oh no, there was information posted because I remember saying to you guys, yeah, there's gonna be a whole
Okay.
pack. There's a stamp thing
information
and you'll get a
told us-
promo pack.
the information you told us was bare minimum stuff though. That's what they
Yeah.
gave no details.
We
Lumus.
knew about a stamp thing. We didn't know how many
How it
stamps we
worked.
needed, where you had to go.
Was it throughout
Yeah.
the 2 days? I thought it would be. It turned out not. There was 10 blank pages when we started doing it. There was 10 blank pages. They were numbered.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't decide between all the different judges we went to get our staff members to get these stamps whether or not you were meant to get a stamp But the
on the
stamps,
correlating number that they
Yeah.
had, or
Or-
on the page for the
or-
game that they had.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they're each
There
of
you
their
go.
stamps matched a card game. They couldn't decide if
The
it was matching the
thing
number
is,
or match the card game.
One Piece had 3 stamps to it.
Yeah.
And there's 2 pages for One Piece. So immediately we sort of realized, okay, they're meant to stamp the number, but only one judge
Was
or
stamping the
actually
number.
did the number.
Yeah,
All the rest didn't. And they were just told, oh yeah, we just meant to stamp the page that we were given.
and it
That
definitely
didn't specify anything.
it definitely wasn't thought through at all because this idea of like, oh, you're meant to go around these different areas, try out all these different things,
Yeah, see the
and get a
hall.
stamp while you're there, like a wee scavenger hunt almost. Really cool idea. But what it just turned out to be was because everyone would go to them at the same time, it just became more queues.
It was just a
So
bunch.
it became
I know I
really,
didn't say how many.
We
but,
luckily got there
it
like
just came
really, really quick though.
It just became like, okay, it's really easy to
I just
spot
know
where
the
you're
biggest thing you
going.
complained about was this.
It was fucking shit. I was one card in it.
Yeah.
Fucking
Me
2 hours of waiting for one
And
card.
Chiro and well, mostly me. I sprinted to each of the stamps, so I didn't have to wait on anything. We
Yeah,
waited on one line. I think.
I was trying to
really.
keep up with you the whole
I would say
time.
it did become less of a scavenger hunt for you guys, because it was just spot the queue.
It was just
Which,
spot the
queue,
queue.
which queue have we
It
not
was
been in
spot
yet?
the
Bandai Q Fest at it again.
And then they basically set up an area for the final stamp, and then they're like, no, actually, the last stamp
There's too
was
many
at
people
the
here.
shop.
Yeah,
So then we had to run to the shop, and then we were told to go to the side of it, and
and then
then they were like,
had
no,
us move
now you have to
down,
line up.
like
And
you're going
we had to
towards
wait
the
for them to
shop.
set up a whole new thing with a bunch of more like shop managers.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Wait, did we talk about the shop opening and closing?
No, we haven't talked about
No,
it yet.
that's the next thing.
There was
Yeah.
also 10 pages and there was only 7 stamps.
8 stamps.
Eight
Yeah,
times.
was
Well,
the final,
8
like-
was the little stamp at the end of the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never actually got
It
that.
was never like an actual it stamp. Which was the
So there's blank pages in our passports and we're raging.
Yeah.
It did bring up an interesting thing though, of everyone making a joke of make sure you get your right passport like when we go home. And there was actually, I think it was Will almost grabbed the Bandai passport.
No. It was me.
Was it?
It was me whenever
Yeah.
I went to put my suitcase in to get it checked. I reached in, I had my normal passport in my left pocket, my Bandai passport in my right with my phone, and I lifted it, and I just assumed I would put my important one with my phone. And apparently I did, I put my Bandai one with my phone. So I lifted that out, and I check it before it, and I'm like, nope, that's wrong. There's my normal one.
But yeah, so that was quite amusing. Then what's after? What's that next to passport?
The last thing to note is just the shop crashed. I think it was 2 or 3 times throughout the entirety of Saturday. Like, it was...
Crashed twice.
It crashed twice, so it was open for a while, then they shut it, because there's too many people going
And
Yeah,
at
it's like
this
a
point, I remember.
Safety hazard.
Yeah, I remember them making an announcement 3 times. Adam made the announcement. And everyone in the shop queuing area, please leave the area.
and
They
they
just-
And
wouldn't,
they
stay
didn't
there.
move.
because they're fucking One Piece players. That's the only community I'll hate on.
Well,
One
not
Piece
One
players.
Piece players. They're One Piece collectors.
One Piece scalpers. You're correct.
You know what? I'm sure they had the whole virtual queue as well,
Which crashed.
which crashed immediately
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Because there was too much traffic to it. Like, there was too much.
It wasn't even the
traffic.
fact it crashed immediately. So, like, again, to borrow from Vortex TCG video,
Yeah.
because he mentioned he went in that virtual queue. He got a notification on his thing like, you're next. And apparently, I can't remember exactly, but like, when he went to go, it either like crashed out on him, like it wouldn't let him go, or he was told like, yeah, we're not doing the virtual queue anymore. Like something about the fact
See,
of his
I
virtual queue
saw on
messed up.
Twitter someone posted that there was still 207th or something in line.
Right now.
Yeah. Like after the event and stuff, they were still like in 200.
Could you imagine that eventually
They're
pops
still waiting.
They're still waiting.
Could you imagine that eventually pops up? Your next in queue is phoning a Bandai, like, excuse me, I'd like to buy something.
Yeah.
I would like my Sakuya's structure deck at 119 euros, please. But that's everything on the Saturday. Like, it was definitely, it was less problems, or at least less new problems. Like, most of these were the same stuff we were dealing with from the day before.
I think Saturday was today. I had a friend We basically waited in line for 5 hours for the 4 trainings.
Yeah. Sure.
5 hours.
So there was a day.
Saturday.
I think it was either on the Saturday or I think it was the Saturday. There was someone offering me, if I went and got the training set, they would offer me €80 for it. I can't remember if that was the Friday or the Saturday.
That was
Saturday.
Saturday. So I walked over.
No, that was Friday.
Oh, it was the Friday.
it was Friday.
Yeah. Well, I walked over to the shop, and this was after hours.
Connor sold his immediately.
Yeah, this was after hours of, like, the shop had time to cool down. I went and I walked up to someone who was nearer the front. I just went, before I even joined the queue, I went, how long you been standing here? Is this moving quickly now? And he went, I've been here 2 hours. And then I just turned on my heels and I walked away again. I tried like 3 times and I was like, nope, I'm not even bothering because I'm not waiting there the rest of my night.
So we get to Sunday, because at this point we just kind of leave. I would also like to point out, we were invited by some people from UK Scrubs. So KB, I believe, is his name on Discord. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Part of Elixir's crew and everything, if we wanted to go and playtest Friday night, we were just knackered, honestly.
Yeah.
We also didn't quite realise because when we googled, there was a good few ibises in Germany. We didn't quite realise until
they were in the train station.
They were in the train station.
Yeah.
When we got invited, we were waiting for our train home, so we could have just went around the corner and met up with them. But we were all knackered, just want to get home. And then on a Saturday night, we were invited out for a big meal. Again, a lot of people were knackered. The event.
Yeah, Connor messed up his ankle.
Yeah, Connor messed up his ankle. So
Connor had a fall and fell romantically into Lumi's arms.
It was not romantic.
I wouldn't even say it was my arms. It's my arms were braced to catch him. It's like dong.
If anything, it was slapstick. It was. I was quite honestly terrified that he was going to absolutely smash his head on that curb.
I'm just happy
Genuinely.
I managed to catch him because I was worried about that. But yeah, so we got invited by KBDS, is his name on Discord.
KB.
Again, a part of Elixir's crew and stuff. They invited us to go playtesting on the Friday. Again, we would have loved to, but we were just generally kind of everything.
Yeah. But we finally get on to the Sunday, and none of us made it into day 2. None of us made it into top 16. Connor was the closest with 6-3.
I will say real quick, just the last touch on Saturday. One thing, because we're talking about Top Cut here. At the end of Saturday, Stash is with us, and we're finding out if he's made Top Cut or not. And Trevor leans into his app to look. I don't know why.
As the message comes through.
As the message comes through, and Trevor gets yelled at by Stash. Not intentionally, he's not yelling at him, just pure excitement. Trevor's eardrums were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Sasha didn't want to look. He was like, I don't want to look. I don't really.
So I just want to touch on that. So props to him.
So, but anyway, on the Sunday we're like, we can sleep in. We don't have to go in early. Side events don't start till later in the day. We can sleep in. We can watch the stream from.
I'm about to say, well, we're going to retouch that. So we found out at the end of Saturday, going into the Sunday, that Sunday would be a lottery system for the shop. You have to sign up on the app, and essentially, we all tried for the 11:30 slot.
You're skipping me.
No, I'm just going to.
Okay.
I'm just for the wake up time. For the wake up
I know.
time. That's the only thing. So we all tried for the 11:30 slot. But with that in mind, it's like, okay, we don't have to get up really early or anything like that. We can sleep in a bit. We don't have to worry. Just to point that out real quick. Hence why we're
But
worried.
we were also trying to get up at a decent time for sign up for, because we were told the side events
go live at 9.
Go live at 9 on the website. So, but the first thing I want to bring up is we all were like, right, we don't have to be in for a certain time. We'll sit and we'll watch the stream, because the very first thing that was meant to be on the stream
was the top 16 match.
Was the top 16 match for Digimon.
We realised, because Sasha got 16th place,
he should be on table 1.
He should be on table 1 against the person who got first. So what we should be watching is Sasha play. It's like, let's watch, let's support the dude and stuff. It'd be nice to watch.
Nice to watch it in general.
Yeah.
Sasha being on was just a bonus.
So, at which point the stream was late.
Yeah.
It wasn't super late. It was late by like I think half an hour.
Half an hour, I'd say.
And it was Gundam. And
Well, no, was this one when we were watching the stream and it went to like 2 minutes? And
And then it got back to 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it
So
also
twice.
went down from like 10 to 2 in like the blink of an eye as well.
Yeah,
It was
so-
just jumping.
It was Gundam that was on the thing, and something I found out from watching Elixir's podcast. He was told, "Oh, it's Gundam now, but we'll do top 8 of Digimon."
That didn't.
And then because again times didn't sync up, it's like, "Oh no, we'll just do top 4."
Well,
And it's just they kept promising the next Digimon
Yeah.
match, and that's never happened.
well, what I got told by Adam, because when we eventually got to the venue, and it was still Gundam. I think it was eventually like their top 4 was on the stream. Like it was the 3rd cycle of Gundam in a row, and I went to the tournament.
It was
like,
at
a few
this
days.
point, according to the stream schedule, it was time for the first finals, and I can't remember if it was Fusion or Masters. It was one of them.
It doesn't
It doesn't
really
matter, but
matter.
it was the time of when one of the finals was meant to start.
Yeah. I went up, I went, look, does anyone know what's happening with the stream? And they were like, what's the problem? I'm like, they're not following the schedule whatsoever. It's been Gundam 3 times in a row, and it was meant to start with Digimon. It would start, like, all these issues, and they didn't know anything. And I didn't blame them. They weren't told anything over the weekend, so I didn't really expect it to. But I saw Adam in the background, I just went, Adam, what's going on with stream? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, they're not following the schedule. It's not happened this way. And he just goes, yeah, the issue
Well, no,
was...
he first went to you because without friendly with him, it's like I'm not in control of it.
Yeah. He goes, I'm not in charge of stream. I went, okay, but like, blah blah blah. This is what's going on. And he's like, yeah, the issue that's happened is, so Gundam, so the stream was having issues and they started late. Gundam was also having issues and they started late. So to not be jumping in the middle of a Digimon game, they just decided to go ahead and do Gundam first, which makes sense. From their point of view and from a logistics, it makes a lot of sense. And then what happened is the stream schedule and the Gundam schedule, because they were both late at the same time, just synced up from there on. So it just became easier just to stick with Gundam, which isn't fair on the rest of the card games.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of, it was more just the easiest thing they could do on their part.
Yeah.
Like from what I was hearing, like it was just like it
so-
seemed easiest.
In the touching side event stuff, because we said about Ticks going live at 9 a.m. So on the Sunday there was maybe a 3v3. That got cancelled very last minute.
Yeah.
I heard mixed things. The worst thing I heard someone say, again, I cannot confirm if this was true, so this could be completely hearsay. One thing I did hear someone say, apparently they decided to cancel the 3v3 because some of the staff and judges wanted to leave early. I do not believe that personally.
I don't. Think
I
that would
believe
be
it was
true.
more. I believe it was more because I think because by this point, like I say, Adam and stuff like the OPE crew were kind of almost full in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have realized the way that they were planning on doing the 3v3 tickets would have been impossible to organize.
I don't think it would have been impossible. I think they just didn't think about it beforehand. Like, if it had been done right from the start, it's definitely possible
I
to
think it's just
do.
an awkward, like, especially the ticket
Yeah.
points that they were doing as well.
Well, it's not just ticket points because like on the site, compared to like every other event where we've done a 3v3, you buy a 3v3 ticket and that's it. With this one particular, every member of the team was buying their own ticket.
But see, that's where I think it was a mess up of just like, realistically, I think the idea was going to be a 3v3 ticket that you split amongst your 3 people
That
in your
makes no
team.
sense at €20.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it was meant to be €20.
Yeah.
It was meant to be 60. Like what it would be for a 3v3 that OPE would run.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure they run 3v3s at like these other regionals throughout Europe as well.
I
Like
do
it
think
is,
for ticket sales though, Digimon was like an afterthought for everyone.
yeah.
Especially when you look at the
if you
details.
bought Dragon Ball, it was like 1v1. Oh, you want that ticket? 2v2. Go to One Piece, 1v1, 2v2. Really clear wording.
Yeah.
Then you go to Digimon, it's like
Event 1,
What's
Event
that?
2.
Event 2, what the fuck's that? Event 3, what the fuck's that?
It wasn't even Event 2 and 3. It wasn't even Event 1. It was Event 2 and Event 3. And then what was in the 3v3 slot was a €20 ticket marked Event 2.
Event 1.
Event 1?
Yeah.
So that was the...
It was still
okay.
there.
But on the website, they also clarify this up. On the actual Bandai Fest website, Event 1 was the 5-round, Event 2 was the 4-round, and Event 3 was maybe the 3v3.
Yeah. It was just messed up from the get-go, and then before we even had a chance to buy it, it was shown as being sold out already, and then it was promptly removed from the site, so you couldn't even attempt to do anything about it. It was just gone. And then when we got there, we asked about it, and it was like, nope, it's not being ran anymore. We don't know why. Yeah, it was just completely removed, and I think it is just because they fucked up how they put it on the site, and then they didn't have time to correct it.
Yeah.
They just put themselves in a corner.
At this point, I believe it leads us to side event of you and Trev, or was
Well,
the
me
same
and
before?
Amy, first of all, got lottery tickets.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
yes, we had the lottery.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I was gonna
We
say.
won the lottery. Me and Drew.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was great.
Was it a real lottery?
Not the actual lottery, the lottery to go in
Yeah.
the queue of 250 people to go to the shop.
And I'm saying, when we signed up for it on the Saturday, I was like, I don't think this is a lottery system of like it's randomly selected. I think it's just first in. Gets
Yeah,
it.
but you guys also like didn't get long after us. There was still only 140.
Yeah.
No, when I signed up, and I was the first, besides the two of you, to sign up for the 11:30 slot, I'm pretty sure, it was already 300 people out of 250. Like, it was already over that capacity.
One thing they apparently made an announcement about when it came to that lottery system was if you are doing it, you are to only sign up for
One time
Yeah.
slot. If you signed up for multiple and you got accepted in one when you got to the shop and essentially you were scanned, whatever, and like it was discovered you've signed up for multiple, you were apparently promptly removed from the shop.
Yeah,
which
but it
is...
still fills up a space that someone could have had.
Yeah, it's like, but that's not... It just removes them from the other slots. Don't make them have wasted not only their time, but everyone's time behind them, waiting on them getting at the front to just be told to fuck off, essentially. Like, that's completely backwards.
The way it worked is you didn't get into the queue until you showed your thing, so they could have just told them
Yeah.
to fuck off. It would be easy.
Yeah.
No, we arrived, like, our one was at half 11 when we arrived at like 20 past 11. The
I think it
other
was
line,
I think it was even earlier than that.
Yeah.
I think we arrived
The
at about
other-
11.
Yeah. The other time slot before ours was still like halfway through their line, I
Yeah.
would say. And it took us about an hour-ish to actually get to our stuff.
Yeah, it was, if you include the time we got there, yeah, it was probably an hour.
Yeah,
It took like...
it wasn't too
like,
bad,
it took
but
like
by the time we got there,
35, 40 minutes.
everything was sold out.
Like, it took 40 minutes for our line to actually start moving,
Yeah.
because the previous one, like Amy said, was still going on. But
Yeah.
then when it actually started moving, it was kind
So, like you say, with everything sold out, so this one will touch on this.
Yeah.
Scalpers were real. And honestly, in my
They're
head,
real. They're a
They're
real
real.
thing. They're not the boogeyman.
honestly, it makes no sense to me what they were doing. Because, like, it'd be one thing, so, like,
It was one person.
I
again.
will say, as much as we're hating on the One Piece community, the bad half has been shown, and you're gonna remember as the bad more than you are gonna remember the good.
Mm-hmm.
And like there is probably good One Piece players amongst that were at the event and stuff. But
think
honestly,
the
all
people-
the people that were giving like the scalping and like they were all One Piece players, so they're kind of showing the bad side of their community.
The people playing the game are probably fine. It's the
Yeah.
people that aren't playing the game and just collecting the cards. That's what
Yeah.
that's going.
Like,
So
There might people
80%
that
of...
weren't even like in events and just standing over at that wall doing the trades and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was more of that than actual players.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Like-
doing? Like,
So one thing that made, like I said, so when I say it makes no sense to me. So like, what was happening from what we found out? So like, One Piece players were making their way to the shop, and this happened on the Saturday, and they essentially like bought out a bunch of like Digimon and Gundam, and they
Dragon
bought out like almost everything that wasn't One Piece, with the idea of forcing every other card game when they go through the queue to make that queue worth it, buy One Piece things to then trade it off them. Now, I understand on a second-hand market, my set of your set of trains that you bought for Digimon is maybe worth £80, and my set of One Piece, whatever you want to call them,
It's like
is maybe
200.
it's maybe worth 200. So on a second-hand market, yes, you're getting better value, but at the shop itself, they were €18, both of them. the set of training for Digimon
Same
and the
problem.
set for One Piece were both €18. So that's why it makes no sense to me. It's not like
We were still, like, on our day, it was still only one person. So, I mean, I get it, sort of in that sense, where you're forced to buy, like, well, you want to buy one thing.
yeah, it was one per person on the
Yeah.
Sunday, but on the Saturday it wasn't. There was no limit. There was no limit to what card game you could buy. There was no limit to how much product you could
Yeah,
buy.
but they limited again on Sunday. Like they
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
But,
yeah,
but you could buy other card games at this point.
yeah, they limited it on Sunday. But I'm
But
just
Shiro did.
it was just more. It was more to preference the fact that on the Saturday there was no limit, which led to this scalpingness.
Shiro's a scalper, guys. He
I told Amy to scalp. I was like, Amy, you should buy this. We will sell it.
No, I bought a player map.
Which the cards from have sold.
But not to put into perspective though for selling. So
Yeah, that's my mom.
to like the One Piece playmat, because Elixir posted this in the UK Scrub stuff about the fact that he bought a One Piece playmat and he woke up the other day to it selling for like about £400 just for the One Piece mat.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, in hindsight, if I ever do it again, just
Well, no.
buy the fuck.
in
out of it.
hindsight, you know, if the One Piece
Yeah,
want to
next
scalp us
time,
out of all of our
buy
Digimon
One
stuff,
Piece.
we'll happily buy the One Piece stuff. There's money there.
I think that does bring us on to the side events, because after you guys got done with the shop, the two of you and Connor just went into
no.
town and explored.
I got my One Piece training set, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
I got it swapped for a Digimon one.
You were walking around like an advertisement, your Digimon competitor badge
Yeah.
directly underneath it, just
Right
holding
here.
the One Piece thing wide open, sure. I have One Piece, I have
One
One
Piece,
Piece, I play
One Piece,
Digimon,
yeah.
I have One
Yes.
Piece. And then you just suddenly turn around and went, I've got another set of trainings.
Is he actually doing that?
Yes, yes.
He was just holding it.
But the guy came, he seen me, and he opened the bag, and there was like 8 sets of Digimon trainings in the bag.
You should have tried to get two of them.
She
I-
got
I-
all of them off.
I didn't know how much the One Piece thing was worth at the time.
That was the thing.
I
I
just
think
assumed it was equal. Like, okay,
I'm gonna be
They
honest.
got so, like, good. They got treated so well during this event, and that's what annoys me so much.
they definitely inflated the price after they traded down all this stuff. Like, I don't think the prices were properly up at that moment. I think they maybe were up a bit higher from some people listing them, but they've gone up even more so since the event ended. At the time, there wasn't that much of a difference. Now there's a huge difference, and I think that's because they all went, we'll trade down this product, we'll get better value, and then we'll fucking skyrocket
I
this
would
price on Card
disagree because just to point this out, towards the end of the day, there was a point where like I was sitting down with Sasha in the stream, and Sasha's mate was there, and his mate bought the One Piece like training set in 6 cards, and he was looking up on like Card Market and stuff the price of the cards individually,
A lot of them are.
and like 3 of them alone came to like £150 or something
But
like
even
that.
then, that's at the end of the day. Like,
That's the end of, like that's toward the end of Sunday type thing. But even then, like he was immediately like he listed all the cards while they were still in the binders and Card Market, and within the space of 30 minutes, like a one that was worth like £100 on its own roughly or something like that sold by itself, and it was just gone within 30 minutes.
I think One Piece is just a different animal. It's just us all the Pokemon collectors.
Yeah, we have like it's something that's been noticed, and we got it confirmed from our local card shop. Essentially, a lot of like One Piece collectors have kind of moved their way to One Piece.
Pokemon collectors have
Pokemon
moved their
collectors.
ways to One Piece.
Yeah, so did I say the
You
Yeah,
said
you said
One
that
Piece
was
moved to
One
One Piece.
Yeah.
Pokemon moved to One
Yeah.
Piece? Sorry, yeah.
It's just a bit ironic that the card game's about pirates and they're scalpers.
Being proper pirates.
Yeah.
So I will, before we get into your side event stupid goes, to give a little bit of a prompting is followed by this but that's going to come up. Throughout Saturday and Sunday, there was lots of side event scheduling times, like almost every hour and a half, and like for one
Yeah.
event.
Plenty.
The other event had events going on every hour. So side events constantly throughout the day. They were best of one, so they didn't take up the entire day. So you could maybe do multiple and stuff if you were early enough.
Yeah, what you needed to do if you wanted to get good pricing.
And
Yeah,
there was a ticket system for the participation, and the amount of wins you got you so many like tickets, like an arcade almost.
yeah.
Like these virtual
Yeah.
tickets to
So-
claim at a prize wall. It was a good idea.
Yeah, I will give props there. It is followed by a small but of what happened to Adam and Trevor when they took part in the side event.
So we signed up for a 5v5 best of one side event, which is like
Five rounds.
sorry, 5-round 1v1.
We're not on
side event.
Riftline just yet.
Yeah,
I actually
5-round
Soon,
1v1.
Adam, soon.
Never. So me and him were doing this 5-rounder together, and it was meant to be like the bigger. It was 64 person compared to the 4 rounds 1v1 was like
It was also just
32 people.
more point efficient as well.
More points awarded per wins and stuff. All these things that matter to it to differentiate it from the 4-rounder. So what happened to us is at the end of the 4th round of this 5-round side event we signed up for, we were told that there was an issue, and we were started being asked what event did we sign up for, and we're going, for fuck's sake, how have they messed this up as well? So what it turned out, apart from maybe 2 or 3 people in our event that we had signed up for, almost every single person there, including myself and Trevor, had signed up for the 5-round one, but had been placed and paired in the 4-round event instead of with the rest of the 5-round event somewhere else in the hall. We couldn't even see them around us. They were just somewhere else. So what they did was they gathered us all up, they brought us over to Tournament HQ, and we stood there for about 30 minutes trying to work out what it was that could solve this issue because of these tickets and the fact that we were playing around short, basically. So we had less opportunity to win tickets. And by the time I got up to the top of this another queue to sort this out, someone came back who had already been sorted and gone, "You've given me the wrong amount because you haven't taken into consideration that we're meant to be awarded more tickets for these wins than in the 4-round event. Like, you've only given us the 4-round event, but I paid for the 5-round event. You haven't given me enough tickets to, like, show that." So it took even more time to get that fixed. So what eventually they did was just, they gave everyone the tickets they would win for a 5-round event per round, and then they just gave you a free win worth of tickets. They gave you like an extra 10 tickets, which worked out roughly to more than...
I must say, it definitely wasn't an extra win, because like I know Trevor didn't get that.
Yeah, it was just like an extra 10.
Your ticket total at the end did not equate anything we could do the maths of for the event.
I think they even like gave me double participation, like in what
even then, because you had a 7 at the end, you had 47.
Yeah.
And even at double participation, that'd be 48. Like, your 7 is odd because they give it out in either numbers that ended like, so it was 4 for participation, and then the rest of it was numbers that ended in 0 or 5. So there was no way to get to a 7. So like,
they gave everyone essentially an extra like 6 or 7 points.
Shut up.
And that's the end of the book. Fuck you. Yeah, so anyway, I got myself sorted, and halfway through the tournament, I got really bummed out because our friend Will came up and said that there was these Time Stranger promo packs that was meant to be on the prize wall for like 6 tickets a pack, and Will told me halfway through the tournament that they were sold out from the prize wall. They had all been claimed. And I got really annoyed because that's the only reason I was fucking doing this side event. I wanted those packs, and I was so pissed. So I then eventually got into the prize wall line.
well, real quick before we get to that, just say about Trevor's experience with this thing.
That will come after because he didn't get sorted till after.
Was it not till after?
It wasn't till after.
Well, real quick, so Trevor went up with you initially to get sorted, sat down and waited. While you went off initially to the prize wall, I think
he was still waiting on his tickets to come through.
His eventually updated. But again, they only updated him for the 4-rounder. They didn't give him the 5-rounder prizing. So it's like,
even then, I remember coming back from the prize wall, he had still not been given any tickets, dude. That's what I'm saying. By the time I had finished getting my prize wall stuff, he still had not been added any tickets to his account.
I thought it was before.
No.
Okay.
But I went up, and I was very happy because they did actually have Time Stranger packs there, so it actually cheered me up a bit. But something I'll mention is there was one short little line in the back for all the other card games, again, similar to the Friday, and there was one massive line for the prize wall that was just One Piece players, and that was a
Had to have been a
massive...
safety hazard of some kind.
Probably.
And
I
it
think there
wasn't
was a fire door
it
back
wasn't
there.
just players waiting to claim prize support either.
They were waiting in that line, and the reason the line was so long is because majority of them hadn't received their tickets into the account yet.
Yeah.
Because the staff members would go in, if you have the tickets, come up to the front, you can get through.
Yeah.
If you're still waiting, we can't
Again,
let
they were
you
just
through.
being impatient. They refused to wait.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get your prizing. By this point, Trevor's app's updated, but again, it's a wrong amount.
Yeah.
So he has to go up again. But
Get it fixed.
for another time.
Did you get other games prizing with your tickets?
No, it was specific to your tickets. They were like named Digimon ticket, One Piece ticket. Aim for the prizing.
At least there's that. They couldn't scalp us on pricing. But no,
They would have tried.
so it took Trevor ultimately, I think, 3 attempts because he tried once by himself while you were waiting to get it sort of fixed, and they were like, just wait.
Yeah.
3 tries, and he eventually got it all sorted. He was looking at what he wanted, and it was at this point, like, you were informing me about because they had 2 sets of Liberty things on there, and I was confused by what they were, because I could only find one being the packs. I didn't know what the other ones were, and it was like, you informed me, like, yeah, they're the Elfart ones. Like, oh, fucking hell, I want those. Because Trevor couldn't find what else he wanted, he decided to get me 2 of the Elfart things, and I was like, sweet, cool, they're good, thanks, Trevor. Love you very much. At this point, we kind of go back to what's talking. Well, by this point, the panel had started, and something I'll touch on before about the panel, the Digimon panel. So, Elixir was there casting for Digimon and Dragon Ball and stuff. And one thing I noticed was, again, this comes down to some of the players and that. I noticed a few players were kind of frustrated and complaining towards Elixir. Honestly asking, like, where's Digimon, where's this? Like, asking questions that he's got no control over. And it's just like, this is just not needed, guys. Like, he's just here to cast it and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, there were a few mates and stuff, like, you know, saying in a jokey way that he obviously knows and stuff, but there was, like, a few people that were, like, just Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street type thing. It was just like, this guy's got no power over it.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing what he can. He'll be ready when it's ready. So, by this point, like I say, while you're waiting for your prizing, you're at the prize wall, the panel had started, and the first set of reveals they gave, it's like, oh, we already had these early in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident that if the panel started on time, when the reveals were going out, they
were
should have
meant
been
to
in
line
sync.
up
Yeah.
with the other Bandai Fest that was meant to happen. Was it Indonesia was Bandai Fest?
Yeah, it was like Singapore.
Singapore?
It was specifically not Singapore, it was
Taipei?
Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, try and fucking say that word. Right next to Dusseldorf.
Kuala Lumpur. Yeah. I think it is Indonesia. I think it
Maybe.
is.
So at the same time as that.
But so it should have matched
Singapore
up.
was the weekend before.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
it should have matched up. But it didn't, because we started late. All of the time.
And again, so according to the stream schedule, immediately after this panel though, it was going to be Digimon Finals.
And it wasn't, it went back to...
It went back to Gundam. And to point out, it's not even just the stream schedule stuff, like even Elixir was told, because he says on his podcast, that it's going to be Digimon. And he was just told afterwards, no, it's Gundam going next. And he does not know why. No one told him why. It was just Gundam was decided.
And then after that...
At that
it
point,
was-
I kind of gave up. I'm like, you know what? I was wanting to watch the finals and then catch up with you guys.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm not waiting an indefinite amount of time. I will watch this later.
Yeah.
Fuck this
We
shit.
were like sitting and like drinking
were
our
eating
boba,
crap.
and we had the stream up, so we did. And we were like, oh, it's gonna start in a minute now. Gundam. That's not Digimon.
Gundam forever.
And then
So
the reveals start coming, we were sitting on a bench or something.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't shit on at this point.
you were shown by a bird. So at this point, this was about 3:45, I just went to you.
Quarter to 5.
Quarter to 5, sorry, quarter to 5. I went to you and Trevor's. I was like, fuck this shit. No, the thing I want, I'm not sitting here for God knows how long. Let's just go and meet them.
We learned that 15 minutes after we left. So something that was meant to be at the weekend that wasn't active throughout the whole weekend, a majority of the group were excited for, was the mobile game Digimon.
I think it was here, yeah. We were
Trevor
asking...
was especially excited.
Yeah,
for
he
it.
was. We were asking questions on the Saturday, and no one knew anything.
Yeah.
We asked questions on the Sunday, and we were told they can't find a way to secure the phones.
I was told at some point that I think it was the judge of my side event. I asked him as well, or it got brought up in conversation, and I think he had mentioned about the equipment being, or the phones being broken, or the iPads, or the equipment to hold them being broken.
Yeah.
So like they had broken them.
Yeah, so they can find a way to like hold the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's them just sitting like.
So
on
like I say,
charges.
we left at 5:15. At 5 o'clock, they set up Elysium in the Digimon corner, and all it was a table that had a power extension put into the middle with 4 plugs in. All of them have charging wires to 4 phones that were just sitting on tables.
Yeah.
That was the Elysium experience. That's again, as we said earlier, the venue shuts at 8. So
They had 3 hours.
3 hours for Elysium. And that's if they stayed there for the entire time. They could have set the show early. I don't know. But this is on the Sunday at the back end of the event, which means barely anyone tried this.
Ended as well.
Yeah. All side events were done. The last side events went live at 3.
Yeah.
So like all side events were done. Like the only reason you were staying this late was to support your friends in like finals,
Yeah.
or watch the streams and stuff, or maybe other little bibs and.
Did Elysium unironically become available to play when the Digimon finals come up? But you couldn't do both.
It might have done. Fuck off. It might have done actually.
So yeah.
Eventually,
That annoyed us
Yeah.
a bit and stuff, because like again, it was something we were looking forward to, and honestly, it would have been another way for you to get more promo packs, because if you tried out the demo and just
yeah,
give a little
you
small
should have
little
got a time
review, you got a
changer
time
pack, yeah.
stream promo pack.
Personally, I didn't care about it at all. I have not, since the announcement of Elysium, I have not cared about it. But I knew that Jiro, Trevor especially, Amy, Lumi, they were all excited about doing it. It really pissed me off that it didn't happen at all. And then it pissed me off more knowing that it started just after we left. And it felt like it was personal, honestly, against our group.
I feel like they did it just so they could have a Twitter post to show that it was there.
Yeah.
But like I love the way
So that
every
they
other
couldn't-
showing of Elysium, they have like full-on statues of Gemmon and stuff, and the Renamon.
Yeah.
Like, just it felt like they really just didn't care about this Bandai Fest at all.
In comparison to like every other one going this year, yeah, it
Yeah.
really just felt that way.
Like even the one on the day, our one as well. Like I immediately forgot where it was. Like their hall looked amazing. They had a giant screen with a lot of seating
Much better
that
venue.
everyone could watch, and it's a lot more organized.
So one thing to touch on, because I don't know if it was the side event it happened in, or if it was in the main event with Trevor. There was at one point he was sitting across from his opponent, and they didn't know if timer could start. They couldn't see the timer, and his
That
opponent,
happened with us as well.
and
We
the
were just
opponent
talking
happened
for
to be
ages.
a judge, but for whatever reason, his judge qualification don't pass over to thing like country wise.
okay.
I don't know the full story. Trevor couldn't remember the full story. It was something along those lines he was getting told. But the judge kind of went, "Fuck this," and it starts filling on his phone, and then suddenly pulls up the exact system and login to the timers that they're using on the screens. Because he's the judge, he has access to it all. So Trevor just had his own personal timer.
I watched that happen. I think we watched that happen. I think you were there. I think you might have been there whenever we watched Trevor's opponent did that or something.
Trevor had an opponent that was a judge that just logged into the timer system on his phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
I
might have
didn't
been
know that.
me and Sol then. But yeah, I saw that happen. I was like, They just set their own timers. No way that matches.
I didn't know that happened at all. That's news to me.
Yeah.
He was telling me, it's just
So
like,
what you're saying is they could implement it into the app if they really
oh,
wanted
100%, yeah, because it's something, because whatever they had on the screen, all the judges had access to, and they could just go on their phones and just log into that system to be synced with it.
Makes sense, so they're not looking across
I mean,
the
I
hall.
bet
That
it's
means
just
we
one-
could have done that.
Technically, if we had the information, yeah.
A way better system is when we did our first regional that used the OPE website. You could see the timer on your phone, couldn't you? At that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
through
that's
Limitless.
Yeah.
Limitless. Yeah.
I love Limitless, actually.
Limitless is it has its problems as well, but having a timer there is definitely one of its biggest like upsides. Yeah.
So, have we got anything else to cover before we cover...
It just covers when we got back to the apartment, we went back and we watched the Digimon finals.
So, we watched the Digimon files. Initially, we spotted some weird things. But
First of all, the Digimon finals was between someone that the UK community knows. He's not exactly a UK player, but a guy called Gil. He was on Leviamon. Leviamon got to finals. As Matt says, there's three things you can count on in life: death, taxes, and Leviamon making top cut. So that was cool. But something that we noticed in the morning that we thought was quite weird was Virus Imperial made top cut, and then we thought it was even weirder when we saw it in the finals.
Connor, I want to start this off with me and Connor both play Virus Imperial, and Adam wouldn't shut up about, well, maybe Virus Imperial actually is tier 1. You've always made fun of me, it's not actually tier 1.
yeah, so something else to point out, just a little bit of thing. I found this out through Elixir's podcast. Apparently, Gil and Mark, the other guy that was in the finals, they've actually got a bit of history. They've fought against each other quite a lot, and Elixir's actually commentated quite a lot of Mark's matches.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
Mark is a known person.
he's someone known in the competitive scene. Just to put that out there. So like this wasn't like Gil and Mark's thing, and
So Mark
also
was
Gil
the name of
also
the
mentioned, by the
virus
way, he versed Mark in Swiss and beat him in Swiss.
Oh wow! So Mark knew he couldn't do it. But we were watching it, and
the first thing that we noticed that before anyone else brought it out, that was the thing, was there was a play where Mark had Promo Gallant on the field, and Gil went Levia, and the Promo Gallant went to be popped as the highest level, and then the Dino B got to be popped as the lowest level. Partition was happening.
he was thinking on it for a long time.
He was, and then there was some DNAs and stuff, and then we noticed one of the level 4s that got partitioned out was also deleted. We're not sure why. We tried looking it back and none of us could find a reason.
I mean, no, Gil has commented on it since and gone, yeah, I was fucking raging at myself afterwards when I realised that. He was like, I'm so annoyed that happened. And then someone replied to him like, don't worry, mate, that's not the worst thing that happened in that match.
yeah,
I think that happening because we all noticed that happening. It just distracted us from everything else that went wrong.
Yeah, that was the thing.
the worst part was looking at the point in time when the cheat happened. So
it was roughly the same amount.
It was roughly just about immediately afterwards.
So not to spoil it, but the Virus Imperial player cheated.
I mean,
if you haven't seen the clip,
at this point, if you don't know about this, you've been living under a rock.
yeah.
There is a clip going around. There is actually 2 clips. One
Showing
of the
up.
finals and one of Mark in either top 4 or top 8 doing the exact same thing. So it is very hard to catch. Essentially, Mark goes through his trash and you can see him grab as the Dragon Mode Ace, put it to the bottom of his trash, and then immediately kind of palms it into his hand, putting his trash down, and brings the palmed ace immediately to his hand in front of him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it has a Dragon Mode Ace in it. This is something that I have done. I've practiced like magic, doing sleight of hand and all that stuff. That is a trick you learn to do very deliberately. It's not something you can do by accident. That is a very deliberate move.
Yeah.
Not just because of sweaty hands.
No.
He's we've seen messages of Mark
his own
in
group chat.
his group chat trying to be like, oh yeah, my hands were sweaty and it's stuck to it.
Yeah.
Complete
Stressful
horseshit.
day.
The thing is, like, even when we were watching it, like, we didn't hear about the cheating stuff until like the next day when we were going home on the Monday. So that's when all this sort of information, these clips, these videos, these slowed down stuff was being shown and coming out and being passed around and stuff. being tweeted at people and stuff. Even when we were watching it back at the apartment, myself, Shiro, and Connor, mostly, were all there because he had went into 2 Dragon Modiuses at the same time at one point, and we were already a bit weirded out that he was playing more than one. And then I, at one point, was like, he's gonna go into a 3rd, and he did it. And we were all, and it was just after the cheat, and I was so shocked that he was playing more than 2, that he was playing 3 Dragon Modiuses. And no, he wasn't.
No.
It was just the same one.
If you want to try and catch it in your own, the only moment I can kind of give to look out for, it happens literally just before, when he puts it to his hand, he then pulls his hand towards him to pick up, and at that point when he's picking up his hand is when he catches his tapped analog cue. So,
And
that's how you identify it.
Looks like he's trying to
analog you've accidentally
looks like he's trying to untap it to use it again. That's the moment when he's pulling his hand. That's when he's added it to hand.
I think he tried to play that off as well, because you can see him and Gil talking about it. It's like pointing at it.
I looked at that and it's like he was 100% asking if it was tapped or not.
He was
there was also an earlier cheat in the first. So this all happened in the second game. It was a 2-0 victory. This all happened in the second game. There was a part in the first game where you noticed.
No, it was the second game as well.
Was it the second game as well? I thought it was the first game.
No, I rewatched.
You can talk about the Vimp Zone because you know about the Vimp Zone.
The Vimp Zone.
Yeah.
Well, you can't attack during an attack because Bandai says no.
Yeah. That's basically it. But he did this. His line died and he brought it back.
When we first found out he was cheating out onto the Virus Imperial Discord, and that's what they were saying. Oh, they did a Vimp Zone cheat.
Yeah.
We didn't actually realize that there was the Palman thing as well.
So, for those that don't know about the Vimp Zone, essentially, Virus Imperial has the whole thing of when it goes to Dino B can play out of body, give it rush, and it can declare an attack. During this moment, there's a lot of stuff that can happen, which can cause the entire combo to happen again, essentially. And
same with Dragon Mode.
At this point, if you, during this attack, have the combo happen again and you get to another Dino B, a lot of players, because it's so easily to be forgotten about that are new to the deck,
will try to attack
again. That's not possible because you're still in the process of the first attack, and only one attack can happen. And as the Vice Player players call it, it's called the Vimp Zone of knowing when you're in that.
I just think it was all intentional. He was trying to distract us with
that's what I was going to say.
More obvious cheat to get away with a bigger one.
That's what I was going to say.
When 100% that way.
When it comes to that, when it comes to the analog youth, when he swipes it, when he's doing the sleight of hand palming of the card, I think it's all just layered in, just like he's trying to get away, or try to get away with as much as possible, but also some obvious things. So the actual real cheat of it maybe goes unnoticed as much as possible. It's all misdirection.
So one thing I do want to touch on before any comments get made about this, because I know a lot of people are making jokes about this and stuff, and I just want to make sure
the memes.
I want to make sure that the jokes are tailored in the right direction about this. So for every other finals, there was 2 judges at the table. For Digimon, they only had 1. They only had James. We know James.
He's a great judge.
Great judge, great friend.
Yeah.
He was beating himself over this. He really shouldn't. We do not blame any judges or staff members for these. Like say, watching back these cheats were clearly designed in a way that they, unless you were clearly looking for them, like.
Unless you were expecting
Unless Mark came up to you and goes, I'm a magician, I'm going to perform a magic trick for you, you would not be looking for these cheats.
Yeah.
So, I do not blame anyone. I do not blame James for not catching it and stuff. It'd been a long day for the dude.
A long weekend.
A long weekend for him. He was by himself watching this match. So, I do not blame him.
It took people with flowing back the feed, rewinding it, multiple times.
And even then, multiple watching it. There's so many times where, like, that clip that's slowly... people circled the area where the cheat's happening, like, it's happening. And there's people have to rewatch back that clip going, I was one
of those people. I had to watch it, like, 5-6 times to even see what the fuck people were on about.
Realistically, in full speed, it was probably like that, boom, boom. Oh, yep, hands.
Yeah.
There, back
yeah,
hand.
you know, it was so quick, like...
All less than 10 seconds.
There's no way...
100%.
Anyone...
And immediately saying, oh, is my analog cue tapped?
Yeah, it's like, there's no way that anyone was going to catch that naturally. So, I do not want any comments giving any hate to the judges or the staff for this cheat or anything like that. Because, like I said, the entire event the judges and staff did their absolute best that they could. Yes, there was bad communication going on with tournament organizers. There's a lot of questions they got asked they didn't know, but that's not down to them. That's what they get told.
There was a staff member I ended up talking to a lot over the weekend at Tournament HQ, and eventually on the Sunday when we're sorting out the side event, he just comes over and goes, "What's wrong now?" And I go, "This." And he goes, "This is like that one meme where everything's on fire and I'm just here." It's like, "This is fine. This is fine." And that surmises it all.
Yeah, so like no disrespect, no hate towards any judges or staff members of this thing. They all did their best. We understand you did your best, and definitely no hate towards James judging over that finals match. It is not his fault the cheat was not caught. As we've said, that cheat was done in a very deliberate way that it was not meant to be caught.
Yeah.
The only reason it was caught was because the angle of the camera watching that match.
And honestly, a thank you to the OPE staff like James and Adam who eventually just took over. Because God knows how bad it could have been if they didn't decide to do that.
Oh yeah,
It could have been
so much worse.
Even worse than what we experienced. Like, these are all things that they could have... They had a plan in place. This is the thing that gets me. They had this plan, this schedule for the whole weekend put out a few weeks beforehand. Like, at least 2 or 3 weeks or something like that. We had all been practically studying it, going, this will be at this time, this will be it. We know what we're doing. And then when we got there, no one knew.
What I was most confused about is, it felt like Emu Bandai Fest, because there was no presence from Bandai whatsoever other than their name on a banner.
Yeah.
A lot of the displays were lackluster. Like, for example, like for like photo opportunity stuff, Digimon had an Ogumon.
Like every other Bandai Fest I see has like really cool lighting and all
Yeah.
in them as well.
Bandai should
like,
have their own
aura?
team that comes out
Yeah. Yeah.
that works with the team, whereas there was no presence of a Bandai team
It just
whatsoever.
felt like...
100%, yeah.
I kept asking who is making these decisions, and no one could tell me who is actually... The highest authority I did see there, and it's not to put blame on him, because from what I hear, he just took over on the Saturday, was Adam. That was the guy I'm looking at and going, he's the only one I see doing anything of telling people what to do at all. And that's probably only because he had to, because no one else was doing it. There didn't seem to be like any one singular person in charge there of the event of like, I am tournament organizer, I am the guy.
Real bit of him getting paid well for all
Yeah,
that shit he had to go through.
100%. Like,
It does make me slightly concerned about the fact of like how, like, we were concerned on the Friday mostly for this. By the end of the weekend, I think it was fine. I remember us being concerned on the Friday about like, this is how messed up things are for us as the players.
how badly is it for the judges and the
Are the
staff?
judges like, are they even gonna get like their payments of like boxes or however they get paid and stuff for this? You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna get what they're promised? Like, we were concerned about that and things.
Because they're not just there volunteering for nothing. They're not spending all this money to travel out and be like, oh yeah, I'm just here for the love of the game. Because I think most of them would quit the game afterwards.
Especially after this one specifically.
There was a lot of people completely over Digimon by the end of this.
But
actually.
that is a thing. Like, you touched on James beating himself up after the cheat. He was genuinely considering like throwing his fucking hat in the ring for stopping Digimon judging after it. Because he felt that fucking bad. Like, that's how much our judges care about us. Not only our game, but us as a community of doing well by us. He genuinely thought he'd fucked up that hard that he was like, nope, that's me, that's my time. That's my time, folks, I'm retiring.
Yeah, but no, it's just like, it's like I say, it's completely not on him. Again, to talk about community stuff, I was mentioning this, so like on the Sunday, when I was sitting there watching the stream and stuff, like say Sasha came over and joined. And again, just to show like the bright example that is fucking Sasha just being Sasha. There's a point where like one of the finals on like this Dragon Ball, and like he was talking in general like, oh, it should have been me up there in the finals or whatever. And just this mentality of just being like lifted my spirits of just from the weekend. He's sitting there going, next year, that'll be me up there next year. And it's just like, yeah, you know what, I believe you. And even though it's about him, at that point it's not about me, just the aura the dude gives off is just like, I feel slightly...
He was the main character.
Yeah.
We
It's
were
just
all
like-
just side characters.
Like,
But it's just
I am
like-
the main character.
But no, it's just like, you know what, you've brightened my day a little bit from the shitty weekend.
Like, this is the thing. There was like little moments of hope on each day of like that just made me feel like it's not all gone to shit. Like, when I got up to the prize wall and there was actually Time Stranger packs there, that was one of those, like, little small things of, like, oh, this hasn't all just completely gone fucked up.
I think that's the only way you could walk away from this Bandai Fest, like, even being remotely happy, is by focusing on little small things. Yeah. If you focus on the big picture as a whole, you are walking away doom and gloom.
The big picture as a whole was on fire.
Something is so bad, it's the fucking things that should be normal are like, oh my god, this is so good. It's
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's why I brought up like
Billy, getting everyone to unite together, giving them the cards and all. Like, that's
a
good thing.
Like,
again,
you know,
just another example of community and stuff. But like, ultimately, what we're trying to say, like, you can see, you hear from our experience of Bandai Fest, and like a lot of people will say, like, Bandai Fest typically aren't organized well. Dusseldorf was a whole nother level.
It was.
And if anyone from Bandai somehow hears this, watches this,
do better.
Just say do better.
Do better.
Like,
fucking separate One Piece from the rest of them.
Yeah,
give them their own hall. We don't want them near us.
No, I'll go one step farther. Cancel One Piece. Get rid of it. Who needs it? It's full of...
Bandai's wall.
It's only considered like the 4th or 5th best card game in the world.
No. I'll correct you there. 4th or 5th most popular card game.
Yeah. But honestly though, like say, like, things need to improve. I will say, like, ultimately when it comes to the shop side of things, my personal opinion on it is it feels like us competitors who worked so hard to get our invite, like multiple hours of practice, getting to the events for invites, to then practicing for the actual event. It feels like
treated like you guys were at a regionals.
Yeah,
all time and effort.
A lot of time and effort went into it all, and then it ultimately feels when it comes to the shop side of things, we're the ones that got fucked over the most.
Because we had the least amount of time to actually even try for the shop, because we were playing in the event.
So like, there's a lot of things I think, not just from this video.
If they did the pre-order, it would have been fine.
I think the pre-order would have been fine, but not from just this video, from a lot of other people's complaints and stuff. I feel there's a lot that you can take away from to improve Bandai Fest going into next year, because by this point it's too late. We know the rest of the Bandai Fests for the rest of the year are probably already organised and stuff. There's very little chance to maybe change anything there. And I'm going to be honest, they're probably going to be already organised better than Dusseldorf, because the fact that, from what I'm aware of, they've all got pre-order systems for the shop, so they're not going to feel the way we do. But learn for next year, please. I don't expect everything to go perfectly. With an event this big, I do not expect anything to go perfect.
I don't know what affects the whole thing. If they fucking banned Digimon. If they had a bigger fucking announcement at the end that said Digimon's gone.
To be fair, I think that added to us. I'm not sure about the other card games, but when the Digimon format is how it is, when it's already kind of gloomy on the playing
We're
side,
on the crisp of tier 0.
Yeah. Whenever the actual event then starts falling down around us, it's like, what the fuck is the point? We have came here to play an event. The event's badly organized, and the actual playing sucks because 50% of the people here are playing fucking Hoodie. Kill me. Kill me, Dad.
I only seen it twice.
I've seen it twice as well.
I want to get some 3 times.
Like, it was ridiculous.
I mean, another thing that annoyed me is the fact that, well, you don't mind me, I fucking hated the fact that the Security deck was legal a week, and it was out a week before.
Yeah, all the cards.
I didn't have a fucking clue what it did.
I understand that. That makes it hard for a lot of people. Yeah, I didn't mind because I got to use my new Grand Girl, but I understand where you're coming from with it, yeah.
To be fair, it was the same, like, I think the only other deck, apart from Sakuya and Vortex, for the likes of you, that it affected, was, I did see quite a few Demon Lords there, which I kind of...
I want to be honest,
I guessed a bit.
In the grand scheme of things, it was Sakuya and Demon Lords, because I'm pretty sure I was the only Vortex player in that entire event.
Probably, yeah.
I think it was like 300...
There were Atmons in the side events.
There was 320 odd people.
380.
300.
I remember that for the main event. It was 380. I do have the messages are in the group chat.
I know by the end of it all on the app, there was only 307. So we had a lot of people.
A lot of people dropped.
Yes.
Including the 3 of.
But the thing is, your drops are on that. You're in that 307.
Oh.
So like the numbers on the app don't match up with the numbers that were announced. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But either way, very big numbers. I don't personally mind the invite-only system.
A lot of people are not liking it, but I don't think it's going to change for Europe to go back to the old
No,
system.
I mean they've already announced next year's stuff. It's invite-only again.
I think I like
I like it.
cheaters.
It's a change that's it's a change that the Europe players needed to get used to. I think we just need more events. I think there wasn't enough events in Europe, especially UK wise, to validate these invites to get them out there, compared to somewhere like North America, where you've got like the whole of Canada and like the whole of the US. Like that's
Latin America.
yeah, Latin America is their own region as well. Like they have massive countries to them.
The
like,
other thing,
some countries in Europe are big,
Sure, Gil was talking about
but
what?
it's still overall smaller.
Was Kim not saying about if you do like the second regional in France, you can basically get like top 40 and still get an invite?
I think that was the case when they did it, yeah.
but no,
Because there's so many people overlapping them.
thing,
Like you got 21st
Surely
at
that was
R1 and got an
Billy.
invite.
Wasn't it like Billy got his in France because just a hand of done, I think.
No, he got high in France. He got really he got high up in France. He got like top. It was either top 8 or top 4. Billy got. I'm pretty sure. I want to say I heard him say top 8.
What you're saying is when you just go to France.
I can tell you right now, I know this from Alyssa's podcast, I'm pretty sure Gil was saying that they've convinced France to only do one this year.
Okay. I think the main.
I could be
thing-
wrong, I was watching in the background, but I remember them saying about convincing, like, to do something less.
Yeah. The idea of the invites is great. It matches everywhere else, and it works better for generating this competitive mindset to make competitive Digimon actually like
A bigger thing.
I will say,
like feel like a season of
I will say-
competitive Digimon.
the only thing I will say before we get to the end of this podcast, to anyone that's hating the idea of invites only, just be grateful you're not on the Asian side of all this. So how Asian has to go through this, they essentially have it's like a free stager almost. So they've got stage 1 where they get an invite that invites them to stage 2 of Nats type thing, and they have to earn the first invite to get to the next tournament, and then the invite of that tournament is what gets them to
The
Nats,
qualifier, yeah.
to Nats and stuff. So they've got to get an invite to the invite
To the
to Nats.
Yeah.
So like they've got to go through so many more hoops compared to us, where we've only got to go through get one invite.
Because there's three regions though, as well.
Yeah.
So like just be grateful you don't have to go through that. For those. But that's all we're gonna really say. Like I say, we'd normally go through round by rounds with this stuff, but we needed to talk about this stuff. The word needs to get out there. It's probably 11:01. I was imagining this being an hour. You know how long this is. I don't until I get to the editing stage.
It's at least 2.
Lovely. But yeah, hopefully, like I say, someone at Bandai at least hears the voice of the community that are complaining and stuff, because it's not just Digimon as well. There is other card games and stuff that are complaining and stuff out there as well.
Constructive criticism. You can do better, Bandai. I believe in you.
And the only reason we complain is because we love this card game and we don't exactly.
We're not upset, just disappointed, man.
Yes.
Exactly. And on that bombshell, we'll say goodbye.